Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends that live
Welcome in.
down the street.
Hope your Tuesday is off to a good start. Certainly hope it, for most of you, hope your Tuesday is off to a better start than the way your Monday ended. I'm guessing that it was not a good Monday night for a lot of folks. But welcome in to Sports 56 Middays on this Tuesday morning. Eli Savoy here with you. No Greg Gaston today. Greg will be off for the rest of the week, and we'll be back with us next week as he'll be going to Montgomery for the Montgomery Bowl with the Memphis Tigers. Got some other stuff going on, but he'll be back next week with us after the Christmas holiday. So Eli Savoy here in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together, and you've only got a couple of shopping days left before the big Christmas holiday, and they got great deals right now. Pool tables, game tables, massage chairs, spas, pools, whatever it is for a gift idea, or if you just want to spoil yourself with some something nice for the home, go see the folks over at Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40, as they sponsor our studios here at Sports 56. And also, of course, this hour of the program brought to you by Action247.com. They continue their 12 days of Christmas promotion every single day. Something new for you, something special for you with Action247.com. And don't forget, when you sign up with Action247 and you make your initial deposit, use the promo code WHBQ100. WHBQ100. Capitalize, all capitals on the WHBQ. They match your deposit up to $100. That's right. They match your deposit up to $100. So you're basically doubling your deposit up to $100 with Action247.com. Coming up on today's program, it is a very busy show. We have our two Tuesday usuals as far as guests are concerned. 10:25, we'll talk some college football with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. We'll also talk with Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis at 11:25, and certainly a lot to talk with him about with things that are going on at the University of Memphis. The bowl game, of course, tomorrow. Basketball, no fans now. Of course, the extension for Penny Hardaway that was announced yesterday. So a lot of stuff to get into with Jeff Crane coming up at 11:25. Also on today's show, we've got our Humdingers Trivia. So it's an opportunity for you to win a great prize, a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. We're going to be doing that coming up at 11 o'clock today. Also, 2.5 questions. I'll be asking Gabe the questions today. And our 5 favorite songs, which is today the word last. Last needs to be in the title of the song. The word last, that is today's topic. You can get those lists in via the First Bank text line at 67129. 67129, the First Bank text line. You can also message us if you're watching the program. And if you are, hello to you. Good to see you. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram. If you're watching us live on there, you can just message us with those lists on any of those platforms, and we will get to those coming up at 12 o'clock today. And we've got our NFL 3 stars from the weekend as well in week number 15 of the NFL. Also, NBA season starts tonight. We'll get into that. Speaking of the NBA, James Harden apparently fighting teammates now. Ja Morant taking on a troll on Twitter in a pretty funny way. NFL, another massive upset last night. Pro Bowl rosters were announced, even though there won't be a Pro Bowl game played this season. We'll get into that as well. And we lost another Hall of Famer from the NFL yesterday as well. But, of course, we have to start with what happened last night down at FedEx Forum. And I guess, thankfully, probably luckily for a lot of folks, there were no fans in attendance. They did not have to watch it. As the Memphis Tigers, once again against Tulsa, just could not possibly score points. Last year, you may remember, we talked about it yesterday on the program, they lost by 40 at Tulsa. and they only scored 40 points. They got doubled up, 80 to 40. So I guess you can think that last night was a step forward. 33 points better in the margin of victory, or margin of loss, and they scored 9 more points. So you got that going for you. But the Tigers lose to Tulsa 56 to 49 at FedEx Forum last night. DeAndre Williams, the only Tiger in double figures as he gets his first start, plays 37 minutes, goes for 13 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Did have 4 turnovers, but nobody else in double figures. Landers Nolly had 8, but was only 2 of 10 from the field. Lester Quinones had 8 to go with 7 rebounds. Tigers dominated the boards. They had a 46-33 rebound advantage. However, they had 20 turnovers and only 17 field goals. They only had 5 field goals in the entire second half of the game. And an 8-point lead vanished. They were outscored 37 to 22 in the second half, and they lose to Tulsa. Penny Hardaway now 1-3 against Tulsa. 1-3 against Tulsa.
Both teams last night, and I say this very seriously, watching that basketball game was my eyes almost bled. I couldn't take it. Both teams were so miserably bad last night, but the Tigers just were worse. And at some point, there's going to have to be a realization of what this team can actually be, and what it looks like is just not very good. They're just not a well-rounded offensive team, and that's been a problem, it seems, the past 2 years.
Yeah, it's always it comes down to a lot of the same stuff every single game, and it's on the offensive end of the floor. And last night, after the game, in his post-game remarks, Penny Hardaway said it's not a strategy thing. It's about what was the exact quote? It's about understanding personnel, which I don't even really know for sure what he's like what that means. What he's referring to there, is that not him understanding his personnel? Is that not the players understanding the other personnel? I don't really understand what that means. But I don't think you can continue to say this is just, well, we're just not executing. We're just not executing. Well, we're into the season 3, and if they still can't figure out how to execute what you're trying to do, then you may have to change what you're trying to do. Like you can't just keep going. What the whole definition of insanity is, to doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Like something's not working on that offensive end of the court. I mean, guys take terrible shots. They can't shoot. Even when you get a lot of the good shots, they just can't make them. But it doesn't look like there's a real system to it to try and get guys into the correct position. Like there was one possession towards the end of the game last night where it just made, like, they come down, literally, they do a little 3-man weave at the top that I don't know what it's doing. Like it's basically it's like, whoa, you like the ball movement. Well, what is a 3-man weave? Nobody's ever looking to go anywhere or do anything. It's just, so yes, there were like 4 passes made, but the ball didn't go anywhere, and there was no chance of it leading to a bucket. So, okay, whatever. And then they do that, and then Boogie Ellis ends up with the basketball, and he backs out at the top of the key, and then he does just some crazy drive and throws up some terrible shot, and it misses badly. And, like, that's, okay, is that what was the weave in order to try and get Boogie Ellis on a drive? I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. But you scored 49 points. You scored 49 points, and you come out saying, well, it's not a strategy issue. That's hard to accept. Like, there's got to be something wrong here with the strategy. It can't just be we're not executing. We got a great game plan. They're just not executing it. That's why we got 5 field goals in the second half of a basketball game.
And this has been a problem. It's like what when they get into the half court and try to play offense, it is so terrible. And you talk about, oh, well, it's a personnel thing. Like, it's not an execution thing. Well, what are they trying to execute? I don't actually see a plan at any point during the game. When they're out in transition and they're moving fast and they get the other team sped up, that's when they play their best. But this is 2 years in a row now where it seems like Penny and the staff hasn't learned anything about Frank Haith. And Frank Haith's an okay coach. I'm not going to say he's a bad coach by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not a guy that you should be getting consistently out-coached by.
No, again, he's 1-3 against him. And I think probably every one of those years, not sure, maybe that first year they were not the favorites, but every other game they've been the favorites against Tulsa. I'm pretty sure. And he's 1-3 against him. And again, this is back-to-back games. They haven't scored 50 points. 50. He wants to be one of the fastest teams, wants to lead the nation in scoring. They can't score 50 points against Tulsa. And so this also goes back to yesterday with the announcement of the extension. And we said at the time yesterday on the program, because it came down during our show, well, this is odd timing to announce an extension for Penny Hardaway on a lot of different levels. One, the obvious optics of it, pandemic. There was just the story about the loan you took out I think it was Friday, maybe it was Thursday, whatever. But you just took this loan out, and then you announce a 5-year, $12 million extension for your head coach. And it looks weird. And again, we talked about it. That doesn't, there's no correlation between the two things because the money that's going to Penny Hardaway, the overwhelming majority of it is coming from donors. It's not like it's not like they took out the loan in order to pay Penny Hardaway. They're 200, but it's just the optics of it all. It looks weird. The other thing was, and we were talking about it off the air, and I said, well, what if you lose to Tulsa tonight? I was like, okay, they're probably not going to do that. Like, they're at home. Like, I don't think this Tulsa team's not very good. I watched them play Wichita State. Like, they're not good. That's not a very good Tulsa team. But I was like, okay, so now you announce a 5-year extension for a coach who hasn't done it. Like, you're off to a bad start. You've lost 3 games to teams that you thought you were better than. Like, you really thought you're better than all of those. And you lost those. Yeah, you got to win to start conference play, but it was hardly convincing. It was against maybe the worst team in the conference, and you had to hang on after blowing a 20-point lead in that game. So it's not like it was like, hey, the feelings are great right now around the program, and everybody's like, this is a great time. Things are so good. Let's show we got our coach locked up for 5 more years. Everything's going well. Okay, so I was like, why yesterday? Why announce it yesterday? Maybe wait and see if you beat Tulsa and then say, okay, wait, we won a couple of conference games. Things are going here. But no, they announced it yesterday. The other thing I said on the show yesterday, which I completely understand, why 5 years? Is Penny Hardaway going somewhere? Are there people coming after Penny Hardaway? What did you? He in his video yesterday again says, I don't do this for the money. I do it for the love of the city. So he's not. He clearly doesn't care to go anywhere else. He's only doing it because it's Memphis. Did you have to go 5 years for Penny Hardaway at this point? I get it. I know you had to give him an extension because his contract's up at the end of the season, and you're not getting rid of Penny Hardaway at the end of the season. And nobody is saying they should. But did you need to go 5? Could you have went 3? 2?
Easily. Easily you could have. But yesterday, I was one in here with Drew yesterday on Sports Time talking about it makes sense to give him an extension. We understand that it had to come at some point. They were working on it. There were the reports. We get it. Timing, especially weird. But based on the recruiting, based on 20 wins a year, based on what he has done in putting butts back in the seats, you sort of understand that it was coming. Yeah. But 5 years, and then he follows it up with a loss at home to a 2-3 Tulsa team. Yeah. And it's just, you have to question at that point, was that $12 million worth spending yesterday?
Well, and see, and then, yes, what made me, and I get it, Penny is a legend here. People love Penny. You have to love Penny. Like, Penny, not only what he was as a player and being a Memphian and everything else, but what he has done for this city post-playing career. The money and everything else that he has done, it's amazing. Like, Penny Hardaway, you have to love Penny Hardaway. So, but yesterday, a lot of people combining the news with the Tiger football team getting the couple of transfers from Michigan State, there were a lot of folks yesterday, media members, tweeting about what a great day at the University of Memphis. Football team picks up a couple of former four-star guys, and they lock up Penny Hardaway for the next 5 years. And I thought to myself, like, the 2 4-star guys, pretty big deal. Like, that's something that doesn't happen at the University of Memphis very often. But, like, what I get it, you love him, but what has he done to say it's a great day that we just locked him up for the next 5 years? Like, I don't
recruiting. That's I mean, if you look at Penny's track record at this moment, the one super positive that he has done is recruit.
Yeah,
well, and the other one is putting butts back in seats. Obviously, this year it doesn't matter; it's a complete wash because no one will be there.
That's the number one thing. The number one thing that he was brought in to do, and we all know that. And see, what's the other thing is, like, when he was first hired, and there were people nationally critical of it, because you're replacing this legendary coach, guy that's been around for a long time, who's won national championships like that, and you're like, wait, so you got rid of that guy to hire a guy with no college experience? All he's done is coach at the middle school and high school level. And a lot of that is the old guard. The old guard loves to protect the old guard. That's why when Mike Krzyzewski makes comments and Nate Oates calls him out, all of these other coaches come to the rescue of Mike Krzyzewski. They love to protect the old veterans of the game. Like, it's, these young fellows, the young whippersnappers don't know who they're talking about and all that stuff. So I get, we knew that. They also, a lot of national people didn't understand exactly what the situation was, fan-wise, attendance-wise, how they had basically, apathy had completely set in, and it was, you had to do something in order to re-energize the fan base, and Penny Hardaway was the perfect guy for that. But in that mix, some of those people questioned, with all this little experience, like, what makes you think Penny Hardaway can coach at the college level? And people immediately were like, well, he's done this at the high school level, and I was like, he's Penny Hardaway. Like, they rushed to the defense of that as well. I think we are seeing now, again, he was the right hire because of the fans and everything else you needed to do. But these people were right. Like, there is reasons to question his ability to coach at the college level. He's recruiting, but they're not winning. You can get, if you get all the 5 stars in the world, if you don't win with them, who cares?
Are you more, and this is a question that needs to be asked, and I think it's a very fair one. Are you more comfortable overachieving with 3 stars and 2 stars, or underachieving with 5 and 4? What's more comfortable? And I would say overachieving with 3 and 2 stars that buy into your program, that know how to run offense, that want to get it done. But at the same time, I don't know what level of talent would succeed with no offensive game plan. So it's a very uncomfortable situation right now. Yeah, especially this year.
Again, I mean, and it got even kind of more uncomfortable when you announce a 5-year extension and then they go out and lose to Tulsa. So coming up, we've got Connor O'Gara. To start hour number 2, we're going to have an open segment. We'll have our Humdinger's trivia question at 11. And then after that, we will open up the phone lines. I got some text already that we will get to, and you can feel free to text in, and we will get to those. And just kind of get your thoughts. 1, on where this team is headed, what the issues are, and 2, about the extension. Do you have any, do you still think, like, yep, this is clearly the right thing to do? Or do you have some questions about maybe the length of it, the timing of it? What do you think as far as that is concerned? We will get to you to start the 11 o'clock hour. And again, we've already got a bunch of texts rolling in, and we'll get to those as well. But coming up next, Connor O'Gara joins. We're going to talk a little college football with him, with, of course, the playoff set. We had the change yesterday in the Liberty Bowl. Didn't take long to lose a team out of a bowl game, as Tennessee is not coming. But luckily, it happened early enough, and we had Army waiting. You know, you can always count on Army. The U.S. Army's always there, ready when called.
Ready. Absolutely ready. They were chomping at the bit, clearly. Yeah, I'm glad Harold Grader and Steve Earhart and the guys at the Liberty Bowl did the right thing in letting them play in the game.
It works out perfect. Now, for the rest of the way, We've just used our one wild card team. Any other bowl game where the team can't play, you're done. Your game's going to be done. I don't think there's any other team out there that you could go get now, because all these other teams now have sent their kids home. Like, they're done. So I don't know if there would be, if there, and I'm sure this, again, I believe this is absolutely going to happen in other bowl games where teams are going to suddenly find out that they can't play because of COVID issues. And I would assume those bowls will end up having to be canceled. We shall see. But luckily for the Liberty Bowl, it happened so quickly that they had a team out there that they could quickly substitute in. So it'll be West Virginia and Army that will be playing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We'll talk college football with Connor O'Gara up next here. Sports 56 Middays just getting rolling here. From the Family Leisure Studios, Eli and Gabe with you on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
All 36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte, ME 299.10, MSRP 20,625, sold M7755 682, MSRP 20,315, K5MG 003199, MSRP 25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit warranties, a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 12/31/20. Dealer stock only.
Are you ready to be happy this holiday season? Well, we got you covered at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. So come be happy with Kia's holiday sales event. Command the season. 2020 Kia Forte, $142 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5, $192 a month lease. All just 36 months, $31.49 due at signing. Stay happy all season long with Forte, $142, Soul, $148, Kia K5, $192. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Spend the holidays at home this year with a little help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure has so many spas on order. Now's your time to really save big. Huge savings on pool tables, game tables, arcades, massage chairs, and a whole lot more. Buy a pool now and save the 2021 price increase. Plus, you'll get early installation scheduling. The Holidays at Home sale happening now at Family Leisure, Whidden Road at I-40, where family and fun come together for the holidays.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Rocking around, the Kia rides have a happy holiday. That's right, Mid-South. Gossett Kia on the Pike is rocking away at the Kia Holiday Sales Event. Command the season. And gift wrapping is available on your 2020 Kia Forte, $142 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5, $192 a month lease. All just 36 months, $31.49 due at signing. So get them what they really want this season, a new ride from Gossett Kia. 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte ME 29910, MSRP 20,625. Sold M7755,682, MSRP 20,315, K5 MG 003,199, MSRP 25,725. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 12/31/20. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All I need is a TV show, that and the radio.
Welcome back here, Sports 56 Middays from the Family Leisure Studios. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn with you. No Greg Gaston today. Talked to Tigers in that first segment. We'll get back to the Tigers again coming up a little bit later on. But right now, time to talk some college football.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football on Sports 56 Middays. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com. Now, here's Connor with Greg and Eli.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, Saturday tradition as well. Fellow Cubs fan, which makes him certainly a great human being or a miserable human being, depending on how you want to look at it. But Connor O'Gara joins us here on the program. Hey, Connor, Merry Christmas to you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, I actually haven't tried to think about the Cubs too much, and the fact that they got rid of Kyle Schwarber, and the fact that everything's changing, and I hate it. But you just brought all that to the forefront right there. So I'm not going to call you out, but I'm just going to say, you know, I was trying to let those wounds heal a little bit.
It is tough times once again for a Cub fan. We know those well, though. It's a part of the lifestyle of being a Cubs fan. What's it like to be an Auburn fan right now? What is going on with this Auburn coaching search?
You know, ask me in about 15 minutes and it'll probably be different. It kind of feels like that at this point. You're hearing all these different things about a variety of coaches turning down this job. I wrote yesterday morning about why Auburn go on to hire Steve Sarkisian. And basically by the time I finished that column, it was announced that Steve Sarkisian was no longer a candidate at Auburn. And then you find out, Billy Napier is not a candidate anymore. He turned it down. Bill Clark reportedly turned it down. There's some discrepancy about that. Kevin Steele is no longer a candidate. Like, who is a candidate still? Who is possibly in the running for this? Because I thought Auburn made a $21 million move to be able to bring in Hugh Freeze. And when that didn't materialize, then, okay, you go down the list, and suddenly you're thinking to yourself, man, they did not have a plan. They made a massive, massive financial investment to pay a coach who just went 6-4, $21 million not to work, and they didn't have an immediate plan. This feels like a too many cooks in the kitchen type of situation. Everybody knows the Auburn situation is weird. The people that control the hiring and all that, it's not as simple as, hey, the athletic director is going to make his decision and that's how it's going to work. There are powerful people that have been making decisions at Auburn for a very long time. That's perhaps why they never seem to have a typical coaching search. But even for Auburn, this is noteworthy because I thought that this was going to be an attractive opening. I thought it was going to be a spot that was going to covet one of these big-time, potential candidates, especially without, the Texas job opening up or something like that. And instead, we're seeing just a mess. And it's getting to the point now where you start to wonder if this is shades of the end of the 2017 season with Tennessee. I mean, the Stop Steal campaign is a little bit similar to the hashtag Shiano thing that we all probably remember. It's just bizarre, and it's not a good look for Auburn, no matter how this turns out.
Yeah, Brent Venables, the latest to, I guess, after they've talked to him, but basically say, no, I'm staying at Clemson. So as you mentioned, like, it's weird to think, like, if Auburn really wanted to hire, like, the UAB coach, like, you have to be able to hire the UAB coach at Auburn, right?
Right? I mean, that's what I don't get. It's still a $5 million job. I mean, unless they're trying to go the cheap route and everybody is sort of getting lowballed maybe because of the $21 million deal that Gus is going to get not to work, unless there's something going on there where they're basically showing, hey, we'll give you $3 million and you can prove yourself with a contract that's not very attractive. That's the stuff that we don't necessarily know how those conversations are going. Or maybe it's as simple as candidates don't feel like they're their first choice. And because all of this has been so out there, and I feel like so many people at Auburn have been pulling strings to try and get their name out there, I thought the Kevin Steele thing was majorly a product of the early signing period and trying to show this stability. And, of course, as soon as the early signing period ends, it's he's not a candidate anymore. I didn't necessarily think that was a surprise, but maybe this is just a product of all those different factors. And these coaches, these candidates who are going into this situation, looking around the room and saying, well, I'm not your first choice, and I know I'm not your first choice. And I don't really want this job that badly if it looks that bad on the back end. So Auburn's going to get a coach, and, I mean, knowing Auburn, they're probably going to have him within a game of the national championship in the next 2 years.
Talking with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South and Saturday Tradition. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. So we end up with the 4 teams that we looked like we were headed to have the entire time. Basically, since Notre Dame beat Clemson the first time, we were on this path. After the way Clemson handled Notre Dame, was there any doubt in your mind that maybe they would knock Notre Dame out?
I predicted that Notre Dame would still make the field before and after. But after watching what Notre Dame did against Clemson, I said that A&M got robbed. I think that when you lose in a conference championship like that against a team that was at full strength this time with Trevor Lawrence, and Notre Dame couldn't just load the box to shut down Travis Etienne and make a true freshman throw the ball to beat them, I thought it was different. And I think it's a different situation than A&M, who 2 months ago, yes, lost a blowout game to Alabama. If anybody has watched Texas A&M in the last 2 months, they have seen a much improved team. They have seen a team that has totally found its identity. They watched a team that went 5 games in SEC play without allowing a sack. They saw a defense that can stop the run and force teams to try and go over the top, albeit with limited success. I think that A&M really improved. And if I'm trying to match up games for a week from now or 2 weeks from now, I want to see what A&M can do. I just saw what Notre Dame did. It wasn't pretty. They were never in that game against Clemson. And that, to me, is an alarming thing. And that's why Notre Dame right now is the most lopsided underdog ever in playoff history going into this game against Alabama. I think the selection committee overlooked the Ohio State thing, but I always told myself that was going to happen based on those first rankings and the fact that Ohio State was ranked ahead of A&M. But I thought A&M got a raw deal, and I thought it was in large part because of what happened over the weekend.
What do you think happened? I mean, the first time Notre Dame played Clemson, yes, it was not Trevor Lawrence, but Notre Dame put up 47 points in that game against the Clemson defense. Why was this so different?
Well, I think it was different because Clemson was without 3 starters that day as well. I mean, let's not forget that. In addition to not having Trevor Lawrence, they were without 3 defensive starters. And with Trevor Lawrence, they've blown out everyone. And that includes Notre Dame. And I think that Notre Dame is not necessarily a team that's built to rally back. They're not a team that's going to have these big-time home run plays. They're not going to stretch the field. They're good with playing with a lead. If they can convert third downs and control the line of scrimmage with that offensive line, they're a good football team. They really are. They share a lot of similarities to Texas A&M in that regard. But against this Clemson team that was able to go over the top and had balance, and it couldn't necessarily sell out to stop the run and make a true freshman quarterback beat them, it was different. Now, Notre Dame's offense, I think part of it has been a little bit fool's gold, right? I don't think that they've seen particularly good defenses since that Clemson game, and maybe we've kind of tricked ourselves into thinking that this Notre Dame offense is better than it is. It's good. It's just not great. And I think Clemson, a team that had everything to play for, that was back to nearly full strength, I thought it really showed on Saturday that Clemson was ready to roll, and that was a team that was out to prove that it could avenge that loss and did so in a major way.
And because of that, and then when you also look at what was less than a convincing performance by Ohio State against Northwestern, like just on the first glance, it feels like these 2 semifinal games, certainly it looks like Alabama will you mentioned the spread, like because Florida showed like you can get some big chunk plays and that's how you try and keep up with Alabama. Notre Dame doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do that. I feel like Alabama's going to kill Notre Dame, and just based off Saturday's performance, I feel like Clemson might kill Ohio State.
I do too, and that was my immediate takeaway from the playoff poll is, well, everybody get ready for Alabama Clemson Part 5. Yeah. It's going to happen. This Ohio State team is not built the way last year's team was, and we've seen that. The selection committee has ignored that because it's Ohio State, and Ohio State has won every game that it has played, all 6 of them, despite the fact that in the 2 games where they actually faced a quality defense, they didn't look very good. Justin Fields didn't look good in either of those games. If not for Ohio State realizing, Trey Sermon's having a pretty good day, maybe we should give him the ball a little bit more. They wouldn't be playing right now in the playoff. They would have lost that game to Northwestern. I think Ohio State right now has a lot of questions to answer. They look like a team that would have benefited a lot more from having a normal offseason and having regular games. Instead, their defense, I think, has some major issues on the back end. Now, they played well against Northwestern, but I still have major questions about that group that has still struggled to replace the likes of Jeff Okudah and Chase Young, of course, who were top 5 picks in the NFL draft. And I think that this is a Clemson team that, has gotten better. And I think defensively, I had some questions about them early in the year. Could they defend the over-the-top passing game? I think they've shown that they can improve in the secondary, and they've blown out everyone with Trevor Lawrence. Now, their offensive line isn't as good, but Clemson should still dominate that game. And if this isn't 2 semifinal blowouts, I'll be surprised.
Were you surprised at all about the fact that they did end up moving the Rose Bowl? Like it seems like they always just kind of do what the Rose Bowl wants to do, but they finally said, you know what? No, we're going to move this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guidelines in the state it was heading in that direction. It's going to feel weird, right? I mean,
yes,
it's so weird that they're still calling it the Rose Bowl, but it's not going to have any of the same sort of pageantry that we're used to. And I haven't had the pleasure of getting out there, but I know everybody who does says that it's just the number one college football bucket list item, and that's going to be strange. But at the same time, if you have coaches who are coming out and saying, "Well, if we can't have parents there, then this isn't going to work, and we're not going to do this, and this," they took the path of least resistance and just said, "You know what? Let's have this game here. We'll still call it the Rose Bowl. 2020. Everything's weird. Everything it doesn't really make sense." So I guess you can get away with doing that, but yeah, it's definitely going to feel a bit strange.
I certainly understand, and I'm actually I'm glad because I want the families to be able to go watch it. But I would have liked to have seen them just to call Brian Kelly's bluff when he acted like maybe Notre Dame wouldn't play in the game if families can't be there. Okay, yeah, you're just going to say, you know what? No, we don't want to go to the playoff if families can't be there. We're going to pass on this, guys. We'll call it a year.
Jimbo Fisher, meanwhile, is Johnny on the spot. Like, families, we don't care about our families. We'll play without families. We'll play. Just show us where we got to be, when we got to be there, and we'll do it. And of course, Jimbo saying that 10 times fast. Of course, that was a pretty bad Jimbo invitation on my part, but you get the idea.
So, with the Heisman, obviously Devontae Smith had a big game. Not Najee Harris, who's the forgotten guy, which just cracks me up about Alabama. We just forget the guy who has 27 touchdowns this year. You had Trask and Jones going head to head. How do you sort it out? I still believe, I believe Devontae Smith is the best player in the country. I still don't think he will win the award, even though now he is the betting favorite.
I actually think he's going to.
Really?
I'm starting to get on board with that. I think what we saw on this past Saturday night was just another reminder of how extraordinary he is and how much he continues to get better. He looks like an NFL all-pro receiver who is playing at the college level. I mean, it's unbelievable when you break down the numbers as well, in addition to watching just how special he is as a route runner, how he's able to pull in some of these balls that look like they're 5 feet over his head. I mean, he's got 318 more yards than the next closest wide receiver in FBS. He's got 7 more receiving touchdowns than any Power 5 player. Kyle Pitts, number 2 on that list. Go figure. He's got 12 more catches than any FBS player right now. His 15-game pace is over 2,000 yards. He's 269 yards away from Jamar Chase's SEC record. He could get that against Notre Dame. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I realize that Heisman voting is already now, it's going to be in the books by the time that playoff games are played, all that. I get it. This guy's the best player in college football. We have seen him produce game after game, even in a game when, Arkansas does everything they can to try and have bracket coverage on him. He still finds a way to make an impact by having a punt return touchdown in the game. The guy is just extraordinary. I've been saying all year, coming into this year, he was my top SEC offensive player. And I said, we're not appreciating this guy's greatness enough because of the talent that's been around him. All he has done since Jalen Waddle has gotten hurt has been step up even more. I think that he has just had this this year for the ages that we're going to look back on 15, 20 years from now and say, man, that was a special season at the wide receiver position. You could not have asked a guy to do any more than what Devontae Smith has done.
Do you expect it to be him, Jones, and Trask as the top three, or does Trevor Lawrence maybe find his way up there after Dabo's out there campaigning for him?
Yeah, I think Lawrence finishes third, and I think Trask finishes fourth. And I think part of that is the 2-game losing streak for Trask. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Lamar Jackson actually had two consecutive losses going into the Heisman ceremony when he won it, which is very atypical. He had video game numbers, though, to be able to get there. And I think that we're going to see it play out like that. I think Devontae's going to win, and I think Mac Jones is going to be number 2. Go figure that Mac Jones had 5 touchdown passes and over 400 yards in that game, and we're still coming away from it being like, yeah, well, he's probably not the best player in his own team. I mean, it's an unbelievable thing what this Alabama offense has done, and I criticize the Heisman for being a narrative-driven award, but I actually kind of want people to sort of get on the same page and realize how great Devontae has been so that we can all kind of get momentum towards this and that we're not splitting votes and it doesn't somehow end with like, you know, with all due respect to Trevor Lawrence, he doesn't deserve to win the Heisman this year. He just doesn't. You can't look at what he's done and compare it to the candidates around him and say that he's definitively been better. I hope and think that Devontae will win the award.
So here in Memphis, we were supposed to have Tennessee, West Virginia in the Liberty Bowl. Tennessee had to pull out yesterday. Luckily, Army was out there ready to go, and now Army will come and play West Virginia. But now, any of these other bowl games where this happens, there isn't a substitute team. So how much more of this you think we will see with these other bowl games?
I think what we're ultimately getting, because we could get, you're exactly right. I think we could still get some more shuffling if that were to happen. But I also think you're going to see teams do whatever they possibly can to play in these games if they're locked in. Now, if they're like 3 days out and they can't make it happen, maybe we're going to see these bowl executives hop on the phone and say, hey, next available team, get down here. If we can see BYU and Coastal Carolina make a matchup out of thin air in the middle of the week, maybe we can do this for a bowl game as well. Now, it's different from a bowl standpoint when it comes to the revenue sharing and all the advertising and the marketing that goes into making these games happen and all that. So it's different, but at the same time, I feel like this is going to be a very fluid bowl season with opt-outs, with teams that aren't able to play because of COVID. I think it's going to be messy. I think there's no other way. I mean, we're already seeing a team like Iowa where, like, you're feeling good about Iowa. Iowa's won 6 straight games. They just, beat Wisconsin like a drum. And, Iowa's got a bunch of COVID issues right now, and who knows what their status is going to be moving forward for that game against Mizzou. So, it's going to be really difficult to get through a bowl season without having more of these cancellations and last-minute opt-outs or, guys that aren't playing because they COVID, contact tracing because of COVID, all that stuff. Just, be flexible like we've been throughout this 2022.
See, I don't think, to me, anything going forward, if a team has to opt out, I don't see how you can get a replacement because all these other teams have sent their kids home and they're not around. Like, they don't want to bring them back to campus and have to go. So I don't know that to me, any other, like Army was the one, like they were here and it happened so quick. They didn't even, they were ready to go already because the season just ended. I think anything going forward, if a team can't play, I don't think they're going to be able to play that bowl game. I don't know how they would be able to find a substitute team. None of these coaches are going to be like, I'll get all my kids back together and come play in your bowl game.
That's a good point. It's a really good point, and it probably only makes sense for teams in that spot, like an Army, who's just sitting there ready to go. And you probably do have to get this figured out early on, unless there is a couple of teams. I don't know if this is true, but this is just pure speculation. If there are a couple of teams who could anticipate that and say, hey, let's hold out hope that we can somehow still get into a bowl game. Guys, they're on campus if you can, and we'll try and see if we can get a ball to bounce our way. If that happens, who knows? But, you bring up a good point. It'd be awfully difficult to round up kids 3-4 days out.
He is Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South, Saturday Tradition as well, on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Connor, thank you very much. Have a great holiday. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. You too. Appreciate it.
That's Connor O'Gara joining us here on the program. Coming up, we've got our NFL 3 stars for week number 15. That comes up on Sports 56 Middays here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Memphis Tiger fans, catch the Blue and Gray Show with John Stacy and Drew Barrett, Sunday nights from 5 till 7, right here on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
At Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and they are offering the Golden Opportunity December to Remember sales event.
Thanks, Stats. December to Remember is our biggest sales event of the year. We've got great deals on leases, special financing, 0% interest on 2020s and 2021s. Come see us at Lexus of Memphis.
Thank you, Brian, and happy holidays to all and Merry Christmas, and we look so forward to 2021 and this year to forget 2020, but we look forward to 2021 at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
When you think about Memphis-style hot wings, you better be thinking about Crumpy's Hot Wings, because they're made from the freshest ingredients and always deliver that mouth-watering taste that you expect from your hot wings. Now you can visit their new location at 420 South Germantown Parkway. You can also call them at 901-207-1273 and see for yourself why Crumpy's is simply the best. Ask for the Sports 56 Special, which is 20 pieces of whole wings, large fries, and 4 drinks at just $38 for your family or group gatherings. Crumpy's Hot Wings, simply the best.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't. And thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
It's on Mid-South employee pricing for all during the Big Finish 2020. So get ready to save big with 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. IIHS top safety pick $22,990 or $296 a month. Or power up with 2020 Dodge Charger $24,890 or $299 a month. And we're talking Ram Tough in a 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x2 $31,999 or $399 a month. It's time to get your ride on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. 1901 Covington Pike or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost finance through Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3,500 cash down, Charger 4,500 cash down, 4.11 APR, Cherokee MD 15674, MSRP 28,050, Charger XST LH 248,348, MSRP 32,860, Ram LG 290,329, MSRP 37,855, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/20, dealer stock only.
1, 2, 3.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I was working part-time in a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee.
Welcome back. Here in the Family Leisure Studios, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn with you. Greg is off for the rest of the week. He'll be back next week. As we roll along in this first hour, coming up to kick off hour number 2, don't forget Humdinger's Trivia, opportunity for you to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. And then we're also going to get back into the Tigers, and we'll get to your texts and phone calls, if you'd like, in our next segment on the Tigers and the loss last night to Tulsa, the extension for Penny Hardaway. Get your thoughts on all of that coming up in our next segment. But right now, time for our NFL 3 Stars. All right, Mr. Kuhn, let's start with the absentee ballot. Let's start with Greg Gaston's absentee ballot for the day.
Wait a tick. Hold up. Where is Greg's absentee ballot? Oh, there it is. Got it.
Okay, so nice. He certainly sent one in.
Yeah, I was going to say, he definitely sent one in. Let's start. He started with David Montgomery, who's been very good the past 2 weeks. It's been tough for him, tough sledding before that, but 32 rushes, 146 yards, 2 TDs, and the Bears defeat the Vikings 33-27. He also went Kyler Murray. They defeated the Eagles 33-26. He went 27 for 36, 406 yards and a TD, accounted for another TD rushing, had 29 yards there. And then his third, and I think this is a really good one, Ryan Tannehill accounted for 5 TDs in the Titans' win this weekend over the Lions and 46 points. 21 for 27, 273, 3 TDs through the air, and then 3 carries, 21 yards, and 2 TDs rushing.
Very good choices. I do agree with him on David Montgomery with the 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had last week 11 carries, 113 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns now in his last 3 games, 5 rushing touchdowns in his last 3 games. He had 1 rushing touchdown in the first 10 games of the season. I think the Bears are finally realizing, like, okay, how about if we just run the ball? Like, our quarterbacks aren't any good. Maybe we should just keep running the ball until they stop us, and they haven't been able to stop David Montgomery. They are just pounding the football right now, and Montgomery has been great. Certainly with Kyler Murray was great. I take the guy who's catching a lot of those, DeAndre Hopkins. He's just amazing. Like it's still, and I just feel so bad for Deshaun Watson. Every time I watch DeAndre Hopkins play, I feel bad for Deshaun Watson. It's just sad. Hopkins, 9 catches, 169 yards and the touchdown in that Arizona win. Kyler Murray was great, and it's really the combination of the two. But DeAndre Hopkins is special, man.
You feel even worse for Deshaun Watson when you saw how that game ended this weekend.
Yes. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins fumbles that ball. And then I got to go to the old man, Tom Brady, doing it again to the poor Atlanta Falcons. He did it to him in the Super Bowl. Now he does it to him in the regular season. Down 17-0 at half. Down 24-7 in the third. Tom Brady leads the Buccaneers back for a 31-27 win, 390 yards, 2 touchdowns as they beat the poor Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta just doesn't know what to do with Tom Brady.
We can't give him a star for doing that to the Falcons. Everyone does that to the Falcons. Golly. But, yeah, that was a good performance in that second half. And, of course, the Falcons gave up a lead. That's what they do. My turn. So, I am going to start with Ryan Tannehill. Again, 5 total TDs. Titans score 46. This is one, last year I thought offensively they were good, but this year they have been absolutely fantastic. Again, 21 for 27, 3 TDs passing, and then 3 rushes. 2 of those rushes were TDs. Good for Ryan Tannehill. And then I go to a former teammate of mine, Tony Pollard. Have to give it up to him. 12 carries, 69 yards, 2 TDs. He was the second leading receiver, too, behind CeeDee Lamb. 6 catches for 63 yards. And then, by the way, the run that iced the game was absolutely incredible. Spun out of a tackle. I don't know how he didn't go down in that situation. And he's running behind a O-line that is full of a bunch of practice squad players. And that's the truth of the matter. They've got a couple guys back, but it's definitely not full strength.
They're on their 5th and 6th tackles.
Right. So, practice squad.
And they're second center, and the one guard is technically the third guard. So, yeah.
Feel bad, but he made it happen. The Cowboys have now won 2 in a row, and this time they actually scored 41 points to beat the Niners. Good for Tony. And then my third, you always know I go defense. I have to go defense. And DeForest Buckner has been a godsend for the Colts. Been a fantastic pickup for the Colts, coming in from San Francisco last season. And by the way, the Colts are 10-4. which is before the season I would have never thought even close to possible. But he ended up with 4 tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble in the Colts' 27-20 win over the Texans. Obviously, we know how that ended. Kiki Qt throwing it out of the back of the end zone, getting stripped on a slant that he was going to score a touchdown on to tie the game. But DeForest Buckner had a heck of a game. Anytime you get 3 sacks in a game, I can guarantee you will be on my list.
So I had Justin Houston with 5 the week before, and DeForest Buckner with 3 this week.
Yep.
That defensive line is pretty darn good. There's no doubt about that. That's our NFL 3 stars for the week. Of course, last night in the NFL, another massive upset after the Jets beat the Rams Sunday. Last night, the Steelers, as a 2-touchdown favorite, fall to the Bengals with Ryan Finley at quarterback. 27-17. Steelers with their 3rd straight loss after the 11-0 start. I think it's safe to say, now they have lost some guys, but I think it's safe to say the Steelers were the worst 11-0 team in the history of the NFL. They're the 3rd that has lost 3 in a row after being 11-0. I think they're the worst 11-0 team in history.
I think that's fair. When an opposing quarterback only throws for 89 yards on you and you lose, it's tough sledding.
That first half, they could not do anything. 3 turnovers. Took them, 5 drives to finally get a first down? The Bengals defense is horrible.
Bad.
Horrible. Like one of the worst in the league, and they could not move the ball against them at all. That was a bizarre game.
And also, Juju, stay off of the opposing team's emblem at the middle of the field, okay?
Or if
Von Bell was mad, and Von Bell showed you that he was mad, and he cracked you on, Juju, stop doing TikToks.
Exactly. I don't understand. If you're going to do it, you better be ready. And when they get blasted, don't fumble because you know they're going to make fun of you. And people were all over Juju Smith-Schuster last night. And, of course, also in the NFL, yesterday, some bad news, some sad news. It deals with the Steelers as well. Kevin Green, the Hall of Famer, former Steeler, Carolina Panther, Ram. Who else did he play for? He was great. He was one of the best pass rushers. I remember him and Greg Lloyd with the Steelers. Man, were they good together. But the Hall of Famer Kevin Green passed away last year. He's going to be part of our Humdinger's trivia question coming up, as a matter of fact. We've got that right after the break, as you're listening to Sports 56 Middays here on Sports 56, 98.5 and 96.1 FM.
All 75 months at 3.4%. G4 LHF 129.69. MSRP 17,064. Outlander LZO 423.83. MSRP 26.235. PEV LZO 388.19. MSRP 38.1. Outlander PEV qualifies for a $5,836 federal tax credit. Consult your tax advisor. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax filing license with approved credit. CD for complete details. Offer ends 12/31/2020. Dealer stock only.
Where can you find 0% APR for 60 months, plus up to $1,000 cash back on 2020 crossovers, plus $500 holiday cash, plus payments at $99 a month? We gossip at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike during the 2020 year-end sales event. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. Buy for $11,749 or $99 a month. 2020 Outlander. $20,571 or $259 a month. Plus crossover with 4x4 off-road capabilities with 74 MPG. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid EV. $25,099 or $299 a month. Not leases, you own them. And Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for a fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Basketball is back, and you know what that means. It's time for you to fire up the FanDuel Sportsbook app from the opening tip to the final buzzer. There are so many ways to bet on FanDuel. It's all easy. Ease of use, easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet, fast withdrawals, odds boosts, range of betting options, live betting, multi-game parlays, and same-game parlay, so you can bet on a massive payout on a small bet. If you sign up today, FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free. That's right. They'll give you up to $1,000 back if you don't win. And when you do win, FanDuel pays you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. You don't have to track down some shady guy to get your cash. Just do me a favor. When you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up with the promo code CASH so they know we sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires 14 days after receipt. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789.
DQuil Pure Z's all-night bilayer tablets help you fall asleep naturally and regulate your sleep cycle so that you can take on your tomorrow. Designed with extended-release melatonin, which slowly releases up to 6 hours to help you fall asleep and stay asleep longer through the night. ZQuil Pure Z's botanical blend is made with lavender, chamomile, valerian root, and lemon balm botanicals, which have been used for centuries. ZQuil Pure Z's all night. Simple tablets with simple ingredients that are 100% drug-free and non-habit forming.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's on Mid-South employee pricing for all during the Big Finish 2020. So get ready to save big with 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. IIHS Top Safety Pick $22,990 or $296 a month. Or power up with 2020 Dodge Charger $24,890 or $299 a month. And we're talking Ram Tough in a 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x2 $31,999 or $399 a month. It's time to get your ride on a Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. 1901 Covington Pike or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost finance through Chrysler Jeep Ram 3,500 cash down, Charger 4,500 cash down, 4.11 APR, Cherokee MD 156.74, MSRP 28,050, Charger XST LH 248,348, MSRP 32,860, Ram LG 290 329, MSRP 37,855, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/20, dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here for hour number 2 of Sports 56 Middays. Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn with you. Greg is off. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. And this hour of the program also brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Coming up in this hour, in just a little bit, just a moment here, we're going to have Humdinger's Trivia. Your opportunity to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. Then we're going to get into the Tigers game from last night. And if you want to join in the conversation, you can via the First Bank text line at 67129. 67129. We talked a lot about the Tigers in the first segment of the show. Got some texts from them that we're going to get to. But if you want to chime in, you can. 67129. Or you can call in on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. Talking about the Tigers, the loss last night, the extension given to Penny Hardaway, and where this program is headed. That's 360-8255, 360-8255, or 67129. Then Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis, Deputy Athletic Director, will be joining me at 11:25. And then at the end of the hour, we've got 2.5 questions as well. In our final hour today, 5 favorite songs. Last is the word of the day. Must have the word last in the title of the song. We'll do that at noon today. That is our 5 favorite songs segment. But right now, it is time for our Humdinger's Trivia. We do this each and every Tuesday. It's an opportunity for you to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. course, being Tuesday, that means it's Taco Tuesday at Humdinger's. $2 chicken and fish tacos all day long. Those are great tacos, big old tacos too, and they're just $2 each every Tuesday at Humdinger's. But if you're not going for the tacos, maybe you're not going on a Tuesday. All the great grilled fish options, crispy fish and chips. They've got the chicken, whether it be grilled chicken, whether it be chicken tenders. They've got great salads. They've got sandwiches, amazing sides. Throw the little skewer of shrimp in there maybe on one of those grilled fish options. You can just get the Humdinger shrimp, which is delicious. They've got all kinds of great things to choose from at Humdinger's. Very inexpensive and very healthy as well. Maybe you are looking for somebody to kind of some food to get for a holiday, little holiday gathering. Of course, less than 10 people. Got to make sure we're 10 or less on that if you're indoors. But Humdinger's would make a great idea for that. Just go by and see them. Poplar and Massey is where you will find them, the Humdinger's location. And again, a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's goes to whoever gets the correct answer first for today's Humdinger's trivia question. I mentioned that Kevin Green, the Hall of Famer, passed away yesterday. He is third all-time in the NFL in sacks. Who are the two guys ahead of him? Who are the only two guys in NFL history with more sacks than Kevin Green? You can answer via text at 67129. That's 67129, the First Bank text line. And the first correct answer will get a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. Kevin Green, the Hall of Famer who passed away yesterday, is third all-time in sacks. Who are the only two guys ahead of him? First correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. So again, last night, the Tigers, after losing by 40 to Tulsa last year and only putting up 40 points, they only put up 49 in a 7-point loss. Penny Hardaway now 1-3 against Tulsa. Yesterday was announced he got a 5-year extension. We questioned the timing of that announcement. It looks even worse now. Also don't understand the length of the extension. But the Tigers, a lot of the things that have plagued them throughout the season, really throughout the last 2 seasons, once again plagued them last night. 20 turnovers, only 17 field goals. They were 10 of 21 at the free throw line. So less than 50% at the free throw line. 5 of 19 from three-point range, that's 26%. 32% overall field goal shooting. If you shoot 32% and you turn it over 20 times, it's tough to score. It's just tough to score. You're costing yourself possessions, and even when you get shots, you're not making them. They did out-rebound Tulsa, 46-33, but that was not enough. As they blew the lead, they were outscored 37-22 in the second half with only 5 field goals in the entire second half. And one of those came very late when the game was over. There are big-time problems offensively, although Penny said it's about understanding personnel. Not exactly sure what that meant, but he says it's about understanding personnel. It's not a strategy thing. And while, yes, some of this stuff is not strategy. 10 of 21 at the free throw line is not strategy. Like, that's just guys. You have to be able to step up and make free throws. But in close, I said it after the Tulane game when they almost blew that because they couldn't make free throws down the stretch. If this team gets in a close game down the stretch, they're going to be in trouble because they can't make free throws in those situations. And again, last night they couldn't make free throws. So if you're going to be terrible, like Musa Cisse, Penny talked about having a big on the court at all times. If you get down to the final few minutes of a game and it's a close game, you have to take him out because they're going to go to hack at him. Because Musa, because he literally, I don't know that he can, I don't even understand how he ever makes a free throw. It is so ugly when he shoots free throws. DJ Jeffries consistently misses free throws in key situations. DeAndre Williams was an 80% free throw shooter at Evansville last year. He struggled through the first 2 games. The whole thing was, all right, we got DeAndre Williams eligible. He's the answer. Well, 2 games in, you won a close game against the bad Tulane team, and you got beat by Tulsa at home. DeAndre Williams wasn't the answer.
It makes me wonder, and obviously no one has been able to be at practice due to COVID protocols and everything else with the pandemic. But what is the point of emphasis at practice? Are they still, being a defensive team at practice? I feel like they need to devote nearly all of their time at this point to what they do on the offensive end. And then at the end of practice, get some free throws up, because it is just rearing its ugly head game in, game out. And I wonder, I really do, what practice looks like on a daily basis.
I always said that last year. Like, every game last year, like, they would come out of the game where they would score like 56 points or whatever, and Penny would be talking about, we got to get better on the defensive end. Well, how about getting better on the offensive end? When do we start getting better on the offensive end? You're not winning scoring 49 points in college basketball today. Like, you can't be that good defensively to win a game by scoring 49 points, especially if you're playing fast. The number of possessions they're trying to create, if you're only going to score 49 points, you're losing the game.
And you're also giving them a minimum at this point of, what, 12 possessions a game off turnovers?
Yes.
There's no way you could possibly be that good on the defensive end.
Raider Corey texted. He says, where's the accountability from Penny? If the players aren't doing in games what they're doing in practices, it's on Penny and the coaching staff, period. This team is playing like they are in high school. 49 points is unacceptable from this team. What happened to I'm going to take the reins back from Topper offensively? Until they adopt a better offensive scheme, this will continue to be the norm. Change the offense and coach. Again, and I will say this, I do not believe that. There's not even a thought to fire Penny Hardaway. But again, giving him a 5-year extension seems a little strange to me. And again, announcing it yesterday seemed really strange, but now it looks even worse. When you give him the 5-year extension and then you turn around and lose at home to Tulsa, it looks even worse. Somebody else says, my heart goes out to Penny. He knows what he wants, but hasn't had enough experience to know how to get it. Let's hope he figures out sooner than later. Listen, there's a lot of superstar players who aren't able to coach because guys don't get it the same way they got it. Penny knows basketball. I firmly believe Penny knows the game of basketball. Does he know how to teach it? And does he know how to strategize in order to put his guys in position to succeed? Penny was always in position to succeed because Penny was going to succeed because he was better than everybody on the court. Does he know how to look at guys and realize this is what we need to do in order to put this guy, what does it take for me to get Landers Nolly in his best position and DJ Jeffries in his best position and Boogie Ellis in his best position? All of these guys where it works together to highlight everybody's strengths.
And we knew when Penny was hired, there was going to be a buffer of him learning, right? Because he's brand new to college basketball as far as coaching goes, being a head coach. And you knew there was going to be a buffer, but we're 2.5 years in now. How big of a buffer does he get? How long does he get to finally sort of show that he knows what he's doing in regards to coaching at the college level?
Again, nobody's saying fire him, but there are questions about whether he can coach. Like, we know he can recruit. We know people love him, and they will go. People want to go. They want to see him succeed. I mean, you can't find a coach that people want. The fans of a program want to see succeed more. But so far, the results, they have underachieved. Year one, we find out Jeremiah Martin covered up a lot of ills because he was just so good that year. And in this one-on-one kind of pro-style basketball, Jeremiah Martin was that good that year, and he went and got 40 for him on a few different games, or he was scoring in the 30s, so he covered a lot of it up. Without that guy, we have seen that the offense doesn't look nearly as good. Dennis is dialed in on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. What's up, Dennis?
Hey, guys. I guess your first question, I say that you had to give him a contract, man. I mean, number one, in my opinion, I'm a lifelong Memphian, born and raised here. I mean, 10 years old to the age of 47 now. I've been watching Tigers. So I'm well invested. Got a daughter that graduated from there. So my thing is, though, we kind of hold ourselves on a pedestal sometimes. I mean, and by that, I mean, this guy, he's going to have time. I mean, there's no other way around it. Because who's going to knock down the door to come coach here? And this is just my point. I mean, so you got a guy that's getting the recruits. We're just going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to deal with it. I agree with what you're saying. It's some of the same stuff. I mean, trust me, man. I don't even yell at the TV anymore. I just kind of look at it, man, like, what are they doing? I mean, lane violations.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
a
That's
12th grader, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he did that, I would do something. I would tell him something in the car on the way home. I mean, this is crazy stuff like that. I mean, it's just craziness, man.
Yeah.
So I think you had to pay him because, you know, like you said, people are interested. That's why we even talking about this now. People are interested. So I think we just going to have to deal with it. And I say one more thing. I've learned in this process that coaching is not overrated. I mean, you need somebody around you, like Josh had Glenn. I think his name was Glenn. Came from Rice. Yeah,
No,
the one that came from Rice.
The first one was
Wilson.
Wilson, yes.
Yeah.
Boy, I can't even think of his first name, but yes.
35 years experience, I think it was, and that was one of Josh's best years, man. I just think Penny got to get some people around him that if he doesn't know how to do it, you know, they can help him, man.
All right, thanks, Dennis. Yes, and again, as I said earlier, they had to give him a contract. His contract was up at the end of this year, and they're not letting him leave. I wondered, do you need 5 years? Was 5 years necessary? Because where was Penny going? He's only coaching because it's Memphis. Really, he said it. He's not doing it for the money. He does it for the love of this city. So could you have gotten away with 3 years? And it was just weird timing announcing it yesterday because of the loan and everything else. But again, and it looks worse because the loss then that you followed it up with. But I certainly understand giving him a contract. I just wonder if you needed to go 5 years on it. Michael is next on the First Bank phone line. What's up, Michael?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm kind of in agreement with pretty much everyone. I think that one of the things that's most urgent is for an X and O's, because we will pat the ball and everybody's standing around, which takes away from the opportunity for putting a player or players in the best position to score. And a lot of times we're just standing around. I remember one time, when he was first hired, that they were looking at, he was trying to get Larry Brown on as an assistant coach, but due to some of the issues that were still pending with him from SMU, that was not an opportunity.
Correct.
But I think it's critical for us to have someone X and O's, because we cannot win against quality competition or quality coaches with AAU basketball.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's no doubt. I mean, it seems like they need a little bit more structure or something on the offensive end, because what they're doing now is certainly not working, with a lot of isolation, a lot of basically NBA-style offense.
Correct. And you know, when you don't move, you're easy to defend. And that's what's happening, because we're standing around and not moving at all. I appreciate you taking my call.
Hey, thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you. Let's go to Tony. What's up, Tony?
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Doing good, man.
Okay. I've been a University of Memphis fan. I mean, back in the heydays when they were playing at the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see now, I'm very disappointed. I'm really very disappointed in what I see. The style of play, I don't see any improvement from last year. And for them to lose 3 or 4 players, and I don't even include Wiseman because he played 3 games, but for them to lose 3 players and mostly everybody coming back, I just don't really see any improvement. And I'm very disappointed. I'm not bashing the team or anything, or Penny, but I'm just very disappointed in the style of play. And I don't even look at those wins against Jackson State and Mississippi Valley.
Yeah.
If we can't beat Tulsa, okay, what's going to happen when we come up against SMU, Houston, and those schools? I mean, I'm really disappointed in them. I really am. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I didn't even want to listen at the post game show because I'm a truck driver, and I listened at the post game show a little bit, but it was really disappointing. I'm just not pleased with the style of play that they're doing now.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, thank you now.
And I think that's the thing too. Like that's the overwhelming sentiment, because again, everybody wants Penny to succeed so much. It's just disappointment. It's like, man, okay, last year we're young, and the whole Wiseman situation. So there was an easy okay, this is why it's not worked out. We thought we were gonna have Wiseman, we didn't, and all these guys are young. But this year, what's the excuse? Again, because even early on, I was like, well, maybe if we get DeAndre Williams eligible. Then he got eligible, and look, DeAndre Williams is the answer. Well, DeAndre Williams played 37 minutes last night. He lost to Tulsa. He scored 49 points. He was your leading scorer. He's part of the solution. But, Landers Nolly is, to me, falling way too in love with the three-point shot. He's the best shooter on the team, but he's also 6'7" and pretty athletic. He took 10 shots, 9 of them were three-pointers. Come off the three-point line once in a while, especially when you're 2 for 9 from three-point range. Come off the line. Go to the basket. Get something. He's the one guy who actually usually makes free throws. Go draw a foul. Get to the bucket. Do something like that rather than all of a sudden he's become just this spot-up catch-and-shoot guy.
He's an inefficient spot-up-shoot guy, and so that's never good for anybody. But again, it comes down to the offensive end, and until they decide to put in some sets and get these guys organized in the half court, it's going to be the same things we've seen the past 2 years. And it's so weird to think about that first year, how Jeremiah Martin, who came into Memphis as a 3-star, and his freshman year, he probably wasn't even that. In his first year, he averaged 2 points a game. To think about him hiding just about everything, right? Just sort of masking the fact that they had no offensive plan. It's crazy to think about because you would never imagine, coming into year 2 with the recruiting class that they had, that Jeremiah Martin would be leaps and bounds ahead of what he recruited.
And it's actually fun. Jeremiah Martin today was waived by the Nets from his two-way contract. They actually signed another Memphian, Chris Chiozza, who's been with them as well, to that two-way contract to replace Martin. But just remember how good Jeremiah Martin was that last year. Again, he hit a lot. He can't get, he's had his, he's been there and he's played some, but he can't get full-time in the NBA. And these guys think they're NBA players. Like Boogie Ellis thinks he's an NBA player.
We were talking about Boogie Ellis and Damian Baugh and other guys being one-and-dones last year.
Yeah, Jeremiah Martin was unbelievable that last year. A couple other texts here. The team is a total train wreck. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Penny needs to pick a line up or a point guard, play the majority of the minutes. That will get them used to playing together, and they'll get more consistent. And they need to stop the isolation one-on-ones. Yeah, again, the lineup, they went to the big starting lineup last night with basically no true point guard. You had Lester at the point. Well, they got off to a terrible start. They had one field goal in the first 4 minutes of that game. It was a bad start. It looked very disjointed, but it didn't ever get better either. So I don't know. But yeah, I do. They got to figure out their rotation, and I think they got to limit it. And I don't know what. Not all of this can be blamed on the point guard position, although that is a big, big part of it.
Do you ever get the sense, and I definitely get this sense, when Penny makes substitutions, it doesn't feel like it's a situational substitution. It's just sort of throwing stuff at the wall hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I think we need to put him in to neutralize this other guy on the other team and bring us some offensive firepower. It's never that. It's always just, let's see if this works out.
Yeah. So he says you have to slow this offense down. 20 turnovers, ? I don't think so. The only thing they can do, the only way they score is when they get out and run. That's when, because in the half-court offense, that's when a lot of the turnovers happen is in the half-court offense. Because in the half-court, they struggle mightily. Their best offense is just beating teams down the court, not letting them set up defensively, especially if a team tries to play zone against them like they did last night. They can't do anything against a zone.
They look like they have never practiced a half-court offense in practice. That's what it looks like. I know that's not the case, but at times it really does look like that.
All right, we do have more text. We're gonna have Jeff Crane coming up. We do have a winner. We had a lot of folks that got it right. This was a pretty easy question. I just figured it was a timely one. But it was a pretty easy question. Gabe, I need you to break a tie for me here. Let me see here. We are going to have 3 folks who all got it at the exact same time. So let me assign a letter to each one of these, and then I will ask you A, B, or C.
I'll take C.
C it is. All right. The correct answer, I mentioned Kevin Green passing away, 3rd all-time in sacks in the NFL. The 2 guys ahead of him, Bruce Smith, and, of course, the late, great Reggie White. Those are the 2. Kevin Green, 3rd on that all-time sacks list. We'll notify the winner. We'll let you know how you're getting your $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. When we come back, it is Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis, as you're listening to Sports 56 Middays here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
You have opinions?
I think they got a lot of athletic ability.
We want to hear them.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
Call us on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255 or text us on the First Bank text line at 67129.
All 36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte, ME 299.10, MSRP 20,625, sold M7755 682, MSRP 20,315, K5MG 0031999, MSRP 25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title license with approved credit warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 12/31/20, dealer stock only.
Are you ready to be happy this holiday season? Well, we got you covered at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. So come be happy with Kia's holiday sales event. Command the season. 2020 Kia Forte, $142 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5, $192 a month lease. All just 36 months, $31.49 due at signing. Stay happy all season long with Forte, $142, Soul, $148, Kia K5, $192. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Spend the holidays at home this year with a little help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure has so many spas on order. Now's your time to really save big. Huge savings on pool tables, game tables, arcades, massage chairs, and a whole lot more. Buy a pool now and save the 2021 price increase. Plus, you'll get early installation scheduling. The Holidays at Home sale happening now at Family Leisure, Whidden Road at I-40, where family and fun come together for the holidays. I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar? Your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Experience elevated luxury at Genesis of Wolf Chase. Push the limits of style and performance with the all-new first-ever 2021 Genesis GV80. With a perfect balance of luxurious amenities and rugged off-road capabilities, or drive the cutting-edge G80 packed with intuitive technology and unmatched luxurious amenities. All with Genesis Concierge Service. Free pickup and delivery, free oil changes, and car washes. Shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit wolfchasegenesis.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back here, Sports 56 Middays on this Tuesday. Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn with you. No Greg Gaston today. Got 2.5 questions still to come. 5 favorite songs as well in our final hour. And we still got more texts and other things to get to on the Tigers and still some other stuff to get into as well. But right now, time to talk to Jeff Crane from over at the University of Memphis, Deputy Athletic Director, as we do each and every Tuesday. Hello, Jeff. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Eli.
Well, it's got to be, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I know last night, very disappointing on many levels. First of all, you guys are no longer able to have fans at all at games, which is another hit financially. But then you throw on top of that a loss in conference play to Tulsa, certainly disappointing.
It was, we, as it relates to the fans, it's gotten to the point where in our conversations with Shelby County Health Department and the Grizzlies in the forum. We just felt that was the right step to take, and we took the step a little bit earlier than the directive may have required, but we just felt gotten that to that point in the community, and it was really our obligation to take that step to keep everybody that's working there as safe as possible, et cetera. So that we hope we'll be back to quote unquote normal with 6 feet social distancing with fans. We hope in the next few weeks we'll see how that holds, but certainly disappointed as I'm sure Coach Hardaway and our student athletes would be far more disappointed than any of us in the outcome of the game. But they're awesome athletes, and they'll have short memories, and they'll be ready to go for the next one.
This loss last night came after the announcement yesterday of the extension with Penny Hardaway to be the head coach of this team for 5 years. Can you kind of take us through that as far as why now? Like what? Because some people will say, well, why don't you wait until the end of the year and kind of assess things then? And also, why 5 years?
Yeah, I'll say to start that those are conversations that Laird Beach is involved in, and my involvement is more from an arm's length. So I'll start off by saying that, but I will speak more generally, just having been involved in these sort of situations in the past. The timing is often related to when the deal gets done, and a lot of these sort of conversations happen over long periods of time. And we felt, I do know this, and feel like I can speak for Laird in this way. We feel that our program is in great hands with Coach Hardaway, and this is something that we're building. And I think what we've seen across college athletics, it's not just basketball; it's across college athletics as a whole. Continuity and continuity among your coaching staff is really important, and we know that Coach Hardaway is doing this the right way, and he's building this program the right way, and it takes time to do those sorts of things. And our team is still relatively young, and they're just now really starting to play together for the first time. We've got some obviously some freshmen on the floor, some transfers on the floor, and they'll get better and get into rhythm. So we're confident with he and his staff, and that's why we made that vote of confidence with the contract extension.
Can you, I guess, kind of explain a little bit to folks? I think some people always get confused because they look at this and be like, man, in these tough times and people are losing their jobs over there and they're making all these cuts. There was the report of the loan, all of this stuff. How in the world do you all of a sudden commit $12 million to a head coach? But kind of explain how, like, how very little of that money, I guess, really is kind of coming from the university itself, right? Most of that is coming from outside sources.
No, that's true. We have a great situation with Learfield IMG, who is our multimedia rights holder, and many of those funds are coming directly from that source. Of course, our ticket sales and others, other sources as well. But you're correct. Many of those sources are coming from the outside, and those sort of decisions are very much marketplace driven, and it's the marketplace is what it is currently for really football and men's basketball head coaches and we're right in that marketplace. So I don't think you saw us do anything outside of where our program should be at this point.
With the lack of fans now completely, I mean, it was bad enough with a limited number, but now none. Like, again, how big of an impact is this financially? Again, you guys have already made a bunch of cuts. Like you've done as much as you possibly can. I mean, do you start looking? I mean, what's next? How do you kind of get through this if, say, you can't have fans again for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it is challenging, and our CFO has probably got the toughest job in the athletics department because the numbers are changing daily, and it is very challenging to manage. But the true answer to your question is we really don't know what the impact of this season will look like, because what we'll do is we'll go back out to our season ticket holders and single game purchasers and mini pack purchasers at the end of the season, and we'll say, okay, here's how many games we missed. And so would you like to take this amount and refund it, credit it to next year, or donate it back? So we're hopeful that impact will be minimal before the season is out. And then at the end of the season, we hope our fans will elect to donate or credit those funds back to the program. So we knew this was going to be a long road. This is not something that we're going to get out of the woods on this in 6 months, 8 months. With the loan that we have, that'll be something that we'll have to pay back over time. So we just have to continue to make smart decisions and do things financially that impact our student athletes the most. And there's just some things we may have to put off for another day. So I will applaud our coaches and our staff. I mean, we've always been a program, from what I've heard prior to my arrival, but certainly since here, we get bang for our buck here. I mean, there's not a lot of programs that are doing what we're doing and performing at the level we're performing with as little resources. So better days will come, and we're out there asking folks to help us, and we have gotten a great response from our initial fundraising efforts that have taken place in the last probably 6 to 8 weeks. We've really been out there just talking to people about how they can help our program, and it's been a great response.
Talking with Jeff Crane, Deputy AD over at the University of Memphis. Meanwhile, the football team getting set for the Montgomery Bowl coming up tomorrow. I guess since it's only a day away now, where we feel good that everything's going to be okay and there will be no hitches in trying to play this game, correct?
We anticipate no issues in playing the game. We're ready to go. And I was just talking to somebody, and I said it's amazing to think we're playing in a bowl game tomorrow. I mean, we're still in Memphis right now, but we're playing in a bowl game tomorrow. It's just the world is just very, very different than we're accustomed to. Certainly different than the experience we all had last year. But our student athletes, it's just really neat to see, because they're so excited about going and playing again. They just want to compete, and with as much as they've been through this year, and as much time and energy and effort that they and our coaching staff has put into this, at some point, sometimes people just say, "Hey, we're done," but not these guys. I mean, they're ready to go. They're ready to play. So we're planning to go out there and get a win, and it'll be the first one we've had in several years. So there's still an opportunity to really make a mark on this season, and the opportunity to win 8 games this season. If you had said that back in August, I think we would have signed up for that in a minute.
You mentioned that they're ready to play, and with all of the teams that we did see opt out of bowl games, was that ever even a discussion, or was it the whole way that, hey, no, we want to go play in a bowl game. We want to give these kids that opportunity to play in a bowl game?
Yeah, I mean, it really and truly was never part of the conversation, and and I think that just goes back to great leadership, certainly from our coaching staff, but it goes to great leadership on our team, because we have guys in that locker room that are lifting each other up, and they just want to be around each other, and it's just so neat to see that, and to some degree be a part of that, and it's special. It doesn't happen every year. It doesn't happen everywhere. These guys love being around each other, and one more opportunity to do that, they're not going to miss it.
Will you be heading to Montgomery?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to head out in the next 2 hours. So we'll walk through at the stadium at about 4:30 this afternoon, and they'll go through their normal routines. Part of the positive, I would say, here is that really we don't have to deviate a lot of what we've been doing. This is just like an away trip that we've made all year. So we're going to stick to the same program. And this past week, Coach Silverfield brought the guys out to do some fun things. I got to go to the Grizzlies game and went to the movies and things like that. So now they got to have a little bit of fun, somewhat that bowl experience, but this will be about playing a game.
Were you at the basketball game last night?
You know what? I actually watched it on TV last night.
Okay, I didn't know for sure if you would be there now. With
Yeah,
all this.
yeah, I watched it on TV last night. We kind of split our administrators up, and we had 3 others there, and the others of us stayed back. So I did watch every minute of it, but and it was strange, even watching it on TV, just seeing it empty was very, very strange. So. But I was not there.
Yeah, I was wondering because that's what I was wondering. Just from if you were there, how crazy or how weird it is to be at a basketball game with literally no fans in the stands at all. Like that.
Yeah, I think
that's just got to be
really
bizarre.
Hard. Yeah, I would think it would be really hard for our players to adapt in that sort of situation, and I think that's going to take time for them to adapt to that as well. But. Just another challenge in a year full of them.
And is that just so? Is that just basically a till further notice situation? Like, when will that be reassessed? Is it at the end of the directive? How is that going to work as to when you'll make the next decision of when you might be able to have fans?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine we will not make any decisions until the directive is up, and at that point we'll have conversations, much as we've frankly had since this summer, where this is a multi-layered approach here, where we're talking to the health department. In this case, we're talking to the Grizzlies and the Forum, and we're gonna always make every attempt to be on the same page, especially with the Grizzlies and the Forum related to fans. So. That's something that we'll address, I'm sure, in the days and weeks ahead. But everybody's goal is to be back to a place where we can at least have limited fans in the stands. But no timeline on it yet.
He is Jeff Crane, Deputy AD at the University of Memphis. Jeff, enjoy your trip down to Montgomery and the bowl game, and we'll talk to you next week. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. Thanks so much.
That's Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis. So there you go. As he said, it's obviously Laird Veach doing most of that, but They firmly believe and have a lot of confidence and belief in where Penny Hardaway has the program, where it is headed, and that's why they wanted to do this vote of confidence and that new contract and get it done. So there you go. That is why now, and that is why 5 years. So when we come back, it's going to be 2.5 questions. I'll be throwing some questions Gabe's way as we continue here on Sports 56 Middays on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
I just left those Ford and Toyota dealers. You ought to see the selection of new cars and trucks. And you should see their prices. Santa trades a Sunrise Buick GMC truck. Top trade-in for old sleds. Immediate financing. A true bargain lot with cars and trucks under $99.95. And remember, Sunrise specializes in first-time buyers. Want to buy a car or truck and have some left over for the holidays? SunriseMemphis.com. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville. Happy holidays.
Just announced employee pricing for everyone on select models.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system cleaned? How about a safety inspection? Right now, Conway Service is offering our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system for only $69. That's right, for only $69, we'll come out and perform our 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your heating system. We'll also include a complete safety inspection using our state-of-the-art camera system, making sure your heating system is safe to operate this winter. Plus, we'll run a carbon monoxide test on your heating system, all for only $69. If that's not enough, as your smart home provider will include a free Nest Hub with your paid tune-up while supplies last. You can have the peace of mind knowing your heating system is safe and ready to use on those cold winter nights. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And call this week, and we'll perform your heating system tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 11:48 here in the Family Leisure Studios. Eli and Gabe with you on Sports 56 Middays. 5 favorite songs coming up at the top of the hour. Today's category is Last. The title of the song must have the word last in it. And you can get those in on the First Bank text line at 67129 at 67129. You can also message us if you're watching us live, which you can do each and every day. You can see us. You can see this ugly mug if you want to. On Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram, and you can message us right there. So we got so many. Of course, you can also listen to the show via the app or just online at sports56whbq.com. We give you so many different ways to get our programs here on Sports 56. And if you miss any of them, you can always go back and listen to the podcast at sports56whbq.com or on the app. Very easy to get the podcast. You can listen to any hour of any show throughout the day. We make it so simple to make sure you get all that we have for you here on Sports 56. Right now, time for 2.5 questions.
Who, what, where, when, how, and why? Questions start with these. Step right up and answer all my questions, if you please.
I'm just a normal kid, like you, except that I ask questions. And because I'm brave enough to ask questions, I come under scrutiny.
Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions?
Now here is a question for you.
What does the fox say?
By the way, a little happy news. We need a little happy news. Keontae Johnson, Florida Gator basketball player, being released from the hospital today. So that is cool.
Fantastic news.
That is great news. So good. I'm very happy to see that. That was a scary situation, tough times for him, and glad to see that he is doing. We knew he was doing much better, seeing some videos and stuff from him, but good to see he is being released from the hospital today, according to Florida. All right, question number 1. It's been a topic of conversation. The Tigers. Does Penny Hardaway coach the entire 5 seasons he just signed for?
Oh, wow. You're going to make me answer this. I'm going to say, let's be positive. I'm going to say yes. I think he learns eventually how to actually implement an offense. He might get an X's and O's guy. I think that if he makes the right hire as far as assistant coaches go, he'll be fine. But also, I think most of my answer has to do with the fact that I know he'll have a long leash. That's just sort of the truth of the matter. He's beloved in this city. They clearly have confidence in him, the higher-ups at the university. So I'm going to say yes, but that is subject to change. If this season goes terribly awry, who knows?
Well, the thing, too, you could look at is not only you could look at from his perspective, is there a chance that if he's been here 5 years and it's still not working, maybe they haven't made an NCAA tournament yet, he says, you know what, I love this school, I love this university. I'm not doing the job good enough. I'm going to step away and let somebody else do it.
I guess that's a possibility. He seems like a very prideful guy, though, too. So I think it would take a very, large amount of, I don't know, sort of being bad. He'd have to be very, very bad the next couple seasons to just walk away.
All right. Question number 2. With the NBA season getting underway tonight with 2 games, the Grizzlies will get underway tomorrow night. Tonight it's the Nets and the Warriors, and the Clippers and the Lakers. The Grizzlies tomorrow night hosting the San Antonio Spurs. Again, no fans in attendance. But going into the NBA season, there's been more money bet on the Lakers. This is from William Hill Sportsbooks. There's been more money bet on the Lakers to win the championship than all of the other teams combined. That's how much the bettors are on the Lakers. So I ask you, give me all of the teams you think could win an NBA title this year.
Could win. Let's think here. I think the Clippers are certainly capable. I don't know how that will work out. We'll see what happens. If Paul George can play like playoff Paul, or if he plays like last year, that was terrible. But I don't think that's necessarily going to happen 2 years in a row. So I say the Clippers. I do think the Nets certainly are probably second in line behind the Lakers. When you have KD, when you have Kyrie, you have Karis LeVert, you have guys on that roster that can come off the bench and score points. I think they're fairly deep. So the Nets are probably the one right behind the Lakers, in my opinion. Let's think. And this is a tough one because I do think they're capable. I just don't know if it'll actually come, happen. The Bucks?
Yeah, you got to put the Bucks on the list.
I would say it, but they're just, when they get to the playoffs, when they rely on Giannis so much and those other teams create that wall right there in front of the basket, it becomes tough for him. But he's gotten better at shooting every year. He's okay at distributing. We'll see what happens with the Bucks.
And with the addition of Drew Holiday, I mean, he's a good player.
Yeah, but it's not with him. It's not the superstar that you would have wanted. I think that he needs to be able to default to someone, and I don't know if he has that person to default to. He's the person that team defaults to, and I think he would be better in a second-in-line role. But that's just me. He is fantastic. He is the 2-time MVP 2 years in a row, so you certainly have to put him on this list. But after that, I don't really know if I trust anyone else. Celtics are somewhat borderline.
Really? So you would only say 4 teams have a chance to win the title?
Yes, and I guess basically, I would also say I guess the Heat are somewhat borderline too. But I think when you look at it, it's probably the Nets, the Bucks, and who else did I say? The Clippers and the Lakers.
Wow, no Nuggets?
No Nuggets. Don't think the Nuggets can do it.
No, you say no to the Heat, no to the Celtics.
They would be my next 2 in line, I would say. Wow. I just think the Nuggets would have, getting to that position would be so hard. You'd have to go through the Clippers, through the Lakers. It'd be tough.
Wow. So Gabe Kuhn says only 4 teams actually have a chance to win.
And also, I was figuring this question would be, would you take the Lakers or the field? And I would have said the Lakers. I really do.
Really?
I really think the Lakers are the team this year. I think it's going to be hard for anybody else to step up to bat.
Man, that's amazing. We still just have that much faith in LeBron after all these years. It's like, but it's also faith in Anthony Davis and everything else. All right, so John Moran, I don't know if you saw this yesterday or not, but Austin Peay beat Murray State in basketball yesterday. And
Let's go P.
Mike Peake of Austin Peay tweeted with a little thing, I don't know if I remember like the AP, like with the score and the story about the game. And he tweets, "Talk that, Morant," and he tags Ja in the tweet. When Ja fires back, he says, humble yourself, Jit. You ain't do enough to talk to me, Maine. Had 2 points." So this guy, Mike Peake, he had 2 points in the game. And he's firing away at Ja Morant. So my question, and then Pete deleted the tweet.
I guess Ja thinks he's a Florida guy now, saying "jit."
I don't know.
That's a Florida term saying young boy.
Okay, I don't. I'm just reading
young
word
guy,
for
chill
word.
out.
And so Pete deleted the tweet and then tweeted later that the coach had told him to delete the tweet. My question to you though is this: to be able to talk trash to somebody like if you beat their school or whatever, or really in anything, do you have to have played a big part in it? Or can you talk trash if you only scored 2 points? We still beat Murray State. Like I'm Austin Peay, you're Murray State. I'm firing at you because our school beat your school. Do I have to have play a big part in that, or can I talk trash even if I only had 2 points?
So here's the thing. I would say this. I would say you can talk trash no matter what, but the level of to be taken serious, there's a sliding scale there. If you scored 2 points and you're talking trash, I'm not going to take you very seriously. Your trash talk shouldn't be, at the top of my list of things to respond to. But I guess if you were on the team and you won,
you did play. You played a part in beating Murray State.
You have your right to talk. But again, I think there's a sliding scale of to be taken seriously that he certainly did not fit the description there.
Like for instance, okay, this is so. Let's say you, as an offensive lineman, can an offensive lineman because they're never going to have stats in a game.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
So you could fire away.
But, here's the
they're
thing
going to say, dude, you're an offensive lineman.
No, that's different.
The quarterback could fire away. He threw for 500 yards.
Well, linemen can talk. We don't have stats, but you play, if you played every single offensive snap, you played a big part in helping. But I've also seen, and I'm going to call him by name, Kadarian Jones, who was a wide receiver at Memphis, graduated last year. Against Houston, my senior year, we went in there, we're horrible in the first half. It was 17-0. He didn't really play that year, but at halftime he said, watch this. Went on Twitter, watch this.
Oh, yeah.
And then we proceeded to come back and stun them and win. But he didn't – I don't know if he caught a ball that game. So I think there's a sliding scale of to be taken serious. But at the same time, I think if you're on the team and that happens and you win, you can talk trash.
Now he says the coach –
you have the right to.
The coach told him to delete the tweet. But if the coach hadn't told him to delete the tweet, one, should he leave it up there? And two, should he fire back at Ja? Who cares how many points I scored? We beat your school. I was a part of the win. That's all it needs to be. That's all it said.
I think it's he has the right to do it.
Yeah.
He has the right to do it. I don't think he should have. I don't know. The trash talk on Twitter, let it happen. If you're a coach, I don't know why you spend your time trying to keep it from happening. You got Ja Morant to respond, which is big enough in itself. It's almost a good thing. It puts you out there. But again, to answer the question again, I would say you have the right to if you were on the team and you played any type of role. But again, so the scale is sliding on how serious you take it.
In the end, all he wanted was to get Ja to respond, and Ja responded. So it was a victory for Mike.
Day made.
It was a victory. Made. He won. He got Ja to respond. That's all he cared about.
Hey, let's go pee.
But at that point in time, he doesn't care if the coach told him to delete it. He's like, I'm fine with that. Ja responded to me. I won the battle. That's all. I just needed to know Ja would respond to me, and I'm good to go. Coming up, 5 favorite songs with the word last in the title. That's next here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
All 75 months at 3.4%. G4 LHF 129.69. MSRP 17,064. Outlander LZ 042383. MSRP 26,235. PEV LZ 038819. MSRP 38.1. Outlander PEV qualifies for a $5,836 federal tax credit. Consult your tax advisor. Includes all rebates in this NSPF 695. Excludes tax filing license with approved credit. CD for complete details. Offer ends 12/31/2020. Dealer stock only.
Where can you find 0% APR for 60 months? Plus up to $1,000 cash back on 2020 crossovers. Plus $500 holiday cash. Plus payments at $99 a month. We gossip at Gossip Mitsubishi on the Pike during the 2020 year-end sales event. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. Buy for $11,750
$27.49 or $99 a month. 2020 Outlander, $20,571 or $259 a month. Plus, crossover with 4x4 off-road capabilities with 74 mpg. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid EV, $25,099 or $299 a month. Not leases, you own them. And Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, ah yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's on Mid-South employee pricing for all during the Big Finish 2020. So get ready to save big with 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. IIHS Top Safety Pick $22,990 or $296 a month. Or power up with 2020 Dodge Charger $24,890 or $299 a month. And we're talking Ram Tough in a 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x2 $31,999 or $399 a month. It's time to get your ride on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. 1901 Covington Pike or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost finance through Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3,500 cash down, Charger 4,500 cash down, 4.11 APR, Cherokee MD 15674, MSRP 28,050, Charger XST LH 248,348, MSRP 32,860, Ram LG 290,329, MSRP 37,855, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/20, dealer stock only.
Water damage to your home or business can be an absolute nightmare. And the faster you remove the standing water, the faster you can prevent secondary damage. Landmark Construction and Emergency Services specializes in water extraction. They have been a trusted name in the Mid-South for over 20 years. They are a Memphis-based company ready to serve your needs with their 24-hour emergency response. They are always on call and will respond within an hour. They work with most insurance companies and are the official restoration contractor of the Memphis Tigers home team. Landmark Construction and Emergency Services can't prevent disasters in your home and at your business, but their water damage team will certainly respond quickly to minimize and restore the damage. Call 901-452-0390. That's 901-452-0390 or online at landmarkco.org.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join us every Saturday morning on Sports 56 WHBQ from 8 to 10 a.m. and 96.1 FM and the new FM 98.5. We'll be covering the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, college football, college basketball, college baseball. We'll look into recruiting. We'll have guests from around the country with the latest news, the most knowledgeable people out there, the coaches, the players, the people who play the games. Don't forget to join us on the sidelines. Sports 56, 96.1, and the new FM 98.5.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. It is hour number 3, Sports 56 Middays. This Christmas week, Tuesday. A couple of days of shopping remaining before the big holiday coming up on Friday. Coming up this afternoon, by the way, we got some afternoon basketball. Ole Miss will be in action this afternoon. It's a 4 o'clock tip down in Oxford against UT Martin. So there will be no sports time on Sports 56. It'll be John Harden with Sports 56 Happy Hour going all the way till 3:30, and then we'll turn it over to David Kellow and Mark Dukes with the pregame at 3:30, tip-off for just after 4 o'clock. Ole Miss basketball against UT Martin this afternoon coming up here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5. We're going to be getting back to some more texts that we got to get to on the Tigers here in a little bit in our next segment, but right now it is time for 5 favorite songs.
Five favorite songs.
All right. 5 favorite songs. Today's category is Last. Song with the word last in the title. You can text in at 67129 on the First Bank text line. Get those lists in that way. Or message us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram. You can get them to us that way as well. Today's category, Last, for our 5 favorite songs. Let's start with the absentee ballot again. Let's go with Greg so we can
way to do it.
We can make fun of him first.
Only way to do it. He has no honorable mentions.
Okay.
Not very surprising there. 5, Greg goes Last Time by the Rolling Stones. 4, Suddenly Last Summer by the Motels. The Motels.
Okay.
3, Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees.
Okay.
2, Last Dance by Donna Summer.
Okay.
And here is his number 1.
It was 929 Backstreet Big City. The sun was going down, there was music all around, but that's alright. It was one of those nights when you feel the world stop turning. You were standing there, there was music in the air. It should have been away, but I knew I'd have to stay. Last train to London, just heading out.
Last Train to London by ELO.
Last train to London.
I can just picture.
This is absolutely a dance song.
I can picture Greg.
He's giving it one of
dancing.
these.
I absolutely, like, as soon as you started playing that, I had my image of Greg in his disco dancing outfit, shirt unbuttoned, gold chains a flowing out there.
A little bit of got the hamburger meat, the chest hair hanging out.
Just absolutely
biting his bottom lip.
Getting after it in a competition to that song.
I really wish he had some tapes so we could just see what he was doing.
Would love
how he was dancing.
It was way too.
He thinks he was. I mean, like, you ask him, he was great.
No question. I could see.
I just
that
can't
song,
see it though.
That song, right? I could just picture it. I could picture it right now. That song going. And
That's
he
the one.
As soon as it hits, he's out there. He's like, okay, here we go. This is it. This is it. This is our time. All right.
It's either that or the Bee Gees.
There were a couple of songs in there. That one I've heard of. I did not include it on my list, but the Motel. What was that one by the Motels? I don't even didn't even stumble upon that song in doing my research for the category either. All right, I'll go next. No honorable mentions for me either. Number 5 I go Last Name by Carrie Underwood, just because I got to get Carrie on my list when I can. Number 4, I can't believe, I thought for sure Greg would have this one on his list at least. Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Number 3, I do agree, Last Train to Clarksville by the Monkees. Number 2, fantastic classic oldie, Save the Last Dance for Me by the Drifters, which I almost put that number 1 on my list. But instead, this is number 1. I really like this song, but it's always been weird to me because the beat of the song feels like this.
I was going to say, the lyrics are heavy.
Yes, it's like the beat is this, the music is kind of like, feels like this fun, uplifting thing. But yes, it's about a car accident in which his girl dies. Like it's
very, very heavy.
It's such a sad song, but the music does not portray a sad song. It's always been weird to me because of that. Like I love the beat of it. Like and also, but then you like really listen to the words. Like, oh my gosh, like dude just got in a car accident and his wife, girlfriend, whatever, died.
Very sad.
So, but that's Pearl Jam with Last Kiss. I believe they only actually say Last Kiss one time in the song.
I had to turn that off. That was heavy, man.
It is.
It totally changed my mood.
It is a very heavy song. But again, I'm telling you, like it's just always been bizarre to me how the music is weird compared to what the song is actually about.
Yeah,
it's always been strange to me. But I've always loved that song. I'm not a huge Pearl Jam guy, but I've always liked that song is a. Again, it is a heavy song. It's a sad song, but it's a very good song. All right, let's hear Gabe Kuhn's list.
You guys I am disappointed. We're around Christmas time. It's the holidays, and you missed just a fantastic, well, maybe not so fantastic, but at least funny, at least worth mentioning. My honorable mention for today, Last Christmas by Wham. Come on.
I saw that. I thought about putting it on there. I probably should have
Last
done it
Christmas,
as an
I gave you my heart. The very next day, it's just a great one.
I should have included it. You're right. It deserved honorable mention.
But I put it on.
Anytime
there
you can get Wham in there, it deserves honorable mention.
See, I should have replaced number 5 with this, but I went with Katy Perry at number 5. Last Friday Night by Katy Perry. 4. This was on last week, but I have Last Thing I Needed, First Thing in the Morning. Chris Stapleton. 3. Last Name, very similar to Carrie Underwood, but no, this one's Future. Very similar, though, right? Dead on. Last Name by Future at number 3.
I'm going to guess completely different song. I'm going to guess.
No, same lyric. I'm just kidding. No, I would assume. 2, One Last Breath by Creed. And then
Creed. I don't know if we haven't had much Creed.
No, I think this is the first Creed mention. Probably most people are out there like probably for good reason.
Hopefully the last. No, I'm just kidding.
But here's my number 1. It was on your list.
Well, she moved down here at the age of 18. She blew the boys away. It was more than they'd seen. I was introduced and we both started grooving. She said, I dig you, baby, but I got to keep moving on. Keep moving on. Last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain.
Mary Jane's Last Dance, Tom Petty.
Great song.
Yeah, I am.
To me, I probably would have put that at number one, except for I feel like I've used a lot of Tom Petty, and because I love his music.
And you had to assume that Greg would have it somewhere toward the top of his list.
I thought for sure it would be on his list. I didn't know if he had put it number one, but I thought
it was at least honorable. I mean, come on.
I would have bet everything. It was one of the no-brainer odds.
Instead, he had the Motels.
Yeah, instead he had the Motel. I can't believe he didn't have that. But I'm glad. I feel like I've used like 5 Petty songs as number ones and others in other spots. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. I'll put it on my list. I got to put it on my list because it's a great song. But I can't put it number one. I can't. I love Tom Petty, and I think I could put him number one, like for just about every category that he has a song that fits. And he's got a lot of different songs that fit in a lot of different categories. So very good choice there by Gabe Kuhn. All right. So we go to the listeners. 67129, 67129, or you can message us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram. Carolyn comes with a theme here. You mentioned Last Christmas by Wham as your honorable mention. So I'll see if you could pick up her theme. Number 5, Last Christmas by Meghan Trainor. Number 4, Last Christmas by Taylor Swift. Number 3, Last Christmas by Ariana Grande. Number 2, Last Christmas by Leslie Odom Jr. And number 1, Last Christmas by Wham.
I can't pick up on that. What was that?
Do you see a theme at all?
No, not at all.
Here, I'll give you. She does have an honorable mention, too. Last Christmas by the cast from Glee.
The cast from Glee.
Did that one help you pick up on her theme?
No, I can't, for the life of me.
Yeah,
I just can't pick it up.
At least
What is it? Do you know?
She did put Wham at number 1 out of all the Last Christmases.
It has to be. Are all those Last Christmases the same? I mean,
I have
probably
no idea.
The same song? Or
I honestly
similar?
don't know. I didn't know that. I've been. Wham is the only one, and quite frankly, in my heart, Wham is the only Last Christmas.
Absolutely.
Nobody else matters. Downtown Leo, number 5, Last Dance, Donna Summer. Number 4, Last Child, Aerosmith. Number 3, Mary Jane's Last Dance. Number 2, this is one I really would have liked to put on my list. At Last by Etta James is it's a classic. Number 1, Suddenly Last Summer by the Motels. So Downtown Leo comes with the Motels at number 1. Can you find that song? I want to hear this song. Maybe it's one I've heard before. I am not familiar with the Motels or that song. Let's see here. Navy Base Joe. Number 1, The Last Time, Rolling Stones. Number 2, Last Train to Clarksville. Number 3, The Last DJ by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I'm not familiar with that one. I didn't even know that Tom Petty had another song that fit this category. Number 4, Last Train to London by Chris Christopherson. And number 5, Picasso's Last Word by Paul McCartney and Wings. Let's see. Patrick Starr checking in. Number 5, Last Kiss, Pearl Jam. Number 4, Last Date, Floyd Kramer. Number 3, Last Resort, Papa Roach. Number 2, Last Train to Nashville by Merle Haggard. And number 1, let's see, where does this go from here? Okay, no, Blow Me One Last Kiss by Pink. Pink coming in number 1. We haven't had a lot of Pink either in our time doing this.
All right, you ready for the Motels?
Yeah, give me some Motels.
Let's try this out. It's not, I don't know, not what I expected.
It happened one summer. It happened one time. It happened forever. For a short time.
He put this on his list over Mary Jane's Last Dance with Mary Jane.
He did. He really did.
That was not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting.
I was expecting more like, I don't know, like disco or something.
When is that from? Does it say?
Check it out. See if they have it.
I was expecting a different sound from the Motels.
I don't have. I'll look up the year.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 5, Down to My Last Teardrop, Tanya Tucker. Number 4, One Last Cry, Brian McKnight. Number 3, Last Time for Everything, Brad Paisley. Number 2, Last Date, Floyd Kramer. And number 1, One More Last Chance by Vince Gill.
Looking like early 80s song, 1983.
Oh, see, I thought we were going to be going back to like the 50s or 60s for some reason with that. I don't know why. I just assumed the Motels were an older band. Let's see here. Danny. Number 5, The Last Rose of Summer, Judas Priest. Number 4, The Last Mile, Cinderella. Number 3, Last Child, Aerosmith. Number 2, The Last in Line by Dio. Number 1, Make It Last by Montrose. Lou and KC. Number 5, Suddenly Last Summer by the Motels. Boy, that song's getting a lot of love. Number 4, Make It Last Forever, Keith Sweat. Number 3, Save the Best for Last, Vanessa Williams. Number 2, The Last Worthless Evening, Don Henley. That's a very good song that that would have been my next one probably as far as on my list. I like that song, Don Henley. And number 1, Home at Last by Steely Dan. Let's see here. Ray in Cordova. Number 5, You're the First, the Last, My Everything, Barry White. Number 4, Last Night I Didn't Get to Sleep at All, The Fifth Dimension. Number 3, Mary Jane's Last Dance. Number 2, Save the Last Dance for Me. There you go, Ray. Give the Drifters some love. That's a great song. And number 1, Last Dance by Donna Summer. Matter of fact, Gabe, when we go to when we're done with this,
I have one ready for the break.
Okay. If it's not the Drifters, then I want you to come back from the break with the Drifters. Let's see. Somebody says that's a great tune by the Motels. Somebody else says, what the hell is wrong with Greg?
We don't have an answer. We don't know.
I cannot speak for him. Bobby in Midtown. Number 5, The Last Chance Texaco by Ricky Lee Jones. Number 4, Last Child, Aerosmith. Number 3, The Last Time by the Rolling Stones. Number 2, The Last Worthless Evening, Don Henley. And number 1, At Last by Etta James. What a classic. Yes, it is. It is a very much a classic. Again, I'd have liked to have had that on my list. Let's see here. Somebody says, thank you, Gabe. I'm not sure. I don't know, maybe thanking you for playing that song.
Maybe.
Somebody says, Last Kiss. That's based on true events of a wreck in Georgia. I didn't realize it was for sure if it was a true story or not. You kind of figure with something like that.
Makes it even more chilling.
Writing a song like that, you feel like it's probably based on a true. It's hard to that'd be hard to just write a song like that if it's not something that is true that's happened to you. Somebody says you've probably heard "Only the Lonely" by the Motels. I know. Yeah, that song I do know. I didn't know that was the Motels. Okay, that's and "Only the Lonely" is more of the sound I guess I was thinking that we were going to hear with that song. I was not expecting the sound of that song that we just heard from the Motels. John on Facebook, Last Kiss by Pearl Jam, Last Dance with Mary Jane, Last Chance by he says Etta James, Last Train to Clarksville, and Last Leaf by Tom Waits. Honorable mention to Last Resort by Papa Roach. Bobby
John always comes randomly with the death metal. Papa Roach, huh?
But it's always consistent with Tom Waits. Bobby, Last First Kiss by One Direction for Greg, it says. Oh, I can't believe Greg didn't get a little One Direction in there. Number 4, Last Thing I Needed, First Thing This Morning. He goes Willie Nelson. You have the Chris Stapleton version. Out Last Night, Kenny Chesney. That's a good song, too. Mary Jane's Last Dance. And Last of a Dying Breed by Leonard Skinner. Honorable mention, If You Were the Last Man in Omaha by Lawrence Welk. Billy on Facebook, The Last Country Song, Blake Shelton featuring George Jones and John Anderson. Number 4, Lost Her Love on Our Last Date, Conway Twitty. Number 3, Till the Last Shot's Fired, Trace Adkins. Number 2, Hard Rain Don't Last, Daryl Worley. And number 1, Save the Last Dance for Me, Eric Church. Honorable mention, The Last Roundup by Bing Crosby.
I had to. Come on.
I'll let this play while I tell you about Mid-South Ag Equipment. If you're looking for any equipment needs, if you got whatever size tractor you might need for whatever chores you're trying to accomplish, loading, baling, tilling, mowing, the Case IH Farmall series of tractors has something for you, and Mid-South Ag Equipment has that entire line of the Case IH Farmall series. You can go see them just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. It's easy to get to if you take I-269, get off at the Goodman Road exit, boom, they're just a half mile west. Very easy to find the folks at Mid-South Ag Equipment. New equipment, used equipment, service on your current equipment, the Case IH Farm All Series, Bush Hog cutters, and the Bush Hog zero-turn lawn mowers. They've got those as well. And they've always got deals going on. If you go to midsouthag.com, you can see their inventory. You can see what deals, what specials they've got going on right now at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Oh, yes. Tell us a little bit about last Christmas.
But you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby, do you recognize me? Well, it's been a year, it doesn't surprise me. Happy Christmas, I wrapped it up and sent it with a note saying I love you, I meant it. Now I know what a fool I've been, but if you kissed me now, I know you'd fool me again. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away.
Start your day the right way with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 Mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
Experience elevated luxury at Genesis of Wolf Chase. We invite you to test drive the new 2021 Genesis G70, where turbocharged power and track-worthy handling are packaged in a sleek profile with a dramatic stance. The G70 pushes the boundaries of luxury performance. Plus, every Genesis of Wolf Chase comes with Genesis Concierge Service, free pickup and delivery of your Genesis, and free oil changes and car washes. Shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit wolfchasegenesis.com.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
3 touchdowns in 2 weekends. Wow. Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors doesn't let the fall football season slow him down. People often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. Recently, he was about to put a home on the market in Germantown, but sold it the day before. The following weekend, he listed 2 on Friday, and the one in East Memphis had 3 offers by Saturday night, and the other one in Cordova had 4 offers by Sunday evening. Is the real estate market that good? It can be. There's no seasonal slowdown during football season when Sheldon is your quarterback. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, before you draft a quarterback, make sure and have tryouts with 2 to 3, and let Sheldon run his pass pattern for you. You can reach Sheldon at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. That's Sheldon Rosengarten at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
All 75 months at 3.4%. G4 LHF 129.69. MSRP 17,064. Outlander LZO 423.83. MSRP 26,235. PEV LZO 388.19. MSRP 38.1. Outlander PEV qualifies for a $5,836 federal tax credit. Consult your tax advisor. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax filing license with approved credit. See for complete details. Offer ends 12/31/2020. Dealer stock only.
Where can you find 0% APR for 60 months, plus up to $1,000 cash back on 2020 crossovers, plus $500 holiday cash, plus payments at $99 a month? We gossip at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike during the 2020 year-end sales event. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. Buy for $11,749 or $99 a month. 2020 Outlander. $20,571 or $259 a month. Plus crossover with 4x4 off-road capabilities with 74 mpg. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid EV. $25,099 or $299 a month. Not leases, you own them. And Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Wendy's Baconator is the ultimate bacon cheeseburger that puts all other cheeseburgers to cheeseburger shame. And now we're bringing that same big bacon energy to shake up and wake up your breakfast with the Breakfast Baconator. Stacked with the fresh cracked egg, sausage, cheese, and bacon. And right now, you can get a free Breakfast Baconator with purchase in the Wendy's app. So get to Wendy's and always be baconating. We got you.
Offer available at participating U.S. Wendy's for a limited time during breakfast hours only. Offer must be redeemed via the app. Account registration required.
Rocking around the Kia rides, have a happy holiday. That's right, Mid-South. Gossett Kia on the Pike is rocking away at the Kia Holiday Sales Event Command the Season. And gift wrapping is available on your 2020 Kia Forte $142 a month lease, 2021 Kia Soul $148 a month lease, plus 2021 Kia K5 $192 a month lease. All just 36 months, $3149 due at signing. So get them what they really want this season, a new ride from Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte ME 29910, MSRP $20,625. Sold M7755,682, MSRP $20,315, K5 MG 003199, MSRP $25,725. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 12/31/20. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays.
Did you not get the memo?
This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me.
Yeah, see, that's some good classic 50s music right there. It's got to be 50s, right?
Easily. I don't know the exact date, but
The Drifters. I did miss one list here.
black and white picture.
I did miss one list here. Our person who always sends in 4. Number 1, The Last Farewell by Roger Whittaker. Number 2, Last Train to Clarksville. Number 3, Last Time I Ever Saw Her, Gordon Lightfoot. Good choice. And number 4, Save the Last Dance for Me. The person who said, thank you, Gabe, they responded again, said, thank you, Gabe, for your number 1 versus Greg's number 1.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
You did have a very good choice as number 1. I applaud you for that one. I forgot to mention, by the way, tomorrow's category. Tomorrow's category is under, as in what will be under your Christmas tree. But under, the word under must fall somewhere in the title of your song for tomorrow's category. Then on Thursday, I'll give you a little hint. On Thursday, we're going to do Christmas songs. I'll give you a little head start on that one. Thursday will be Christmas songs, but tomorrow the word under must be in the title of your song for our 5 favorite songs. I want to get to some more text here to kind of clear things out. We talked a lot about the Tigers. We've had a lot of folks texting in all morning long about that and haven't had a chance to get to all of them, so we'll get to some more here. So it says, lack of execution is a coaching issue, not a personnel issue. This team cannot play this style. When is Penny going to learn you can't put a square peg in a round hole? This is really getting very old. Again, yeah, he had that weird quote after last night where he said it's about understanding personnel. I don't quite understand that. So it's not a strategy thing. It's about understanding personnel. Somebody else says they have to go to Tulsa next month. Bad. Well, yeah, again, last year at Tulsa, they lost by 40. 40. A 40 burger. They got doubled up. 80-40. Them against Tulsa, just not very good. John says it never fails. Give someone a raise or extension and the production goes down. That's not always the case. But that's one of those things that it stands out, and not this is one game after getting the extension, but like this happens with athletes all the time. They get paid, and then it does happen. But I think we always remember it more when the guy doesn't live up to contract, and when he does live up to the contract, we just kind of forget about it.
Yeah, and if he didn't get the contract yesterday, who's saying he would have? Yeah. Who would have still? He would have lost probably still to Tulsa. That's
Guys not living up to like the big contract, I think is a lot like bad beats in betting. you don't remember the amazing win you got nearly as much as the bad beat, the heartbreaking loss. Guys that don't live up to the contract, we remember, oh, God, remember that guy got paid and now he's terrible. You don't forget the other 10 guys who got paid who all were still really good once they got paid. Like Mike Trout's going to be really good for a long time.
I'd say, but certainly I get the sentiment. It does happen.
Yeah,
it does happen.
There are some guys, there's no doubt, there are some guys who get that one big contract and then kind of quit caring. Like, that's it. They know they're rich for the rest of their life. That's it. And they don't probably work nearly as hard as they did to get that one contract. It's when you haven't been paid yet, you're a lot more motivated than once you have been paid. You get a $150 million contract, your motivation goes down.
I feel like you don't generally see it in coaches.
No, I mean.
Generally. See it a lot in, like, the MLB. You see it a lot in baseball, I feel like.
Coaches, it's what Jeff Crane talked about. Like, it's the marketplace tells you, like, this is what the University of Memphis has to pay a coach. And Penny's not doing it for the money. I mean, they're kind of getting him they're getting him cheaper than what they were paying other guys. I don't know where he ranks in the grand scheme of college coaches now, but it's not like he's a top 10 paid coach. He's probably not even top 50 highest paid coach. And again, he hasn't done enough to warrant being that highly paid anyway. Like, the track record to this point wouldn't deserve to be one of the highest paid coaches, but there's a marketplace of what college basketball coaches at what you believe is a high level program, what those guys get paid. Somebody says, Penny is a rookie college coach with 4 years of high school coaching. What do you expect? Another one, in this city, if you don't win, you won't see butts in the seats no matter who the coach is. Larry Finch was an icon. He got fired. Yeah, the question becomes with Penny. He got the people back, but how long are they there if you're not winning? If you continue to never go to the NCAA tournament, how long are they willing to tolerate it just because it's Penny Hardaway? And again, yes, obviously Larry Finch is a icon of icons in this city as well, and it ended badly for Larry Finch.
And this was always the question with Penny from the beginning is, which way does it end? There's one of two ways. You either go out on top and you retire on your own merits and you won championships and you did everything you set out to do, or you stink and you get fired. Or step away.
Which is the way most coaching tenures end.
It's just that's sort of life.
Most coaches get fired. That's the way it ends in most situations. So that's the hard and that it was a big risk. I mean, it's a big risk for Penny Hardaway when you are a legend in a city. Like, to go do this, and if it doesn't work out, I mean, you're still going to be a legend in the city, but it takes you're looked at a little differently.
What have you done for me lately?
You could always be Penny Hardaway, the unbelievable native son, great player, went on to the NBA, superstar in the NBA, came back, gave all kinds of stuff back to the city, and there's not a negative thing about you. You take this job, it doesn't work out, you get fired. There is at least something negative on your resume in Memphis. To the point of him getting hired, there's literally not one negative thing on Penny Hardaway's Memphis resume. He is a legend, icon, beloved person in this city on every level. If you end up not succeeding as a head coach at the alma mater, there is a slight stain on that. Somebody says, watching the Tigers is like watching a junior high girls team play. 29 points at halftime? How do they do that? Well, they only got 20 points in the second half. So the first half was the good half. Don't make fun of the first half. It's the second half. They had 5 field goals in the entire second half, and one of those was in garbage time at the end. Somebody else says, how's Penny get the extension with absolutely nothing on his resume to justify it? He's in way over his head, and in my opinion, he hasn't beaten a top 50 team, have had very few top 100 wins, and lost to many mediocre teams. Again, they were not getting rid of Penny Hardaway after this season. That was never going to be a possibility. So they had to give him some sort of an extension because his contract was up at the end of this year. So there was some sort of new contract always going to be done. You can, again, I questioned the 5 years, but Jeff Crane said, listen, they firmly believe in where this program is and where it's headed, and so they wanted to show the vote of confidence, and they give him 5 years. If that's their opinion and they're fully believing in Penny Hardaway and where this is headed, then that's what they did. That's what they want to do. Then by all means, go right ahead.
You picked a direction. Stick with it.
Yeah.
So 5 years, I don't necessarily think it had to be 5 years, but that's the school's discretion.
Somebody else says, I'm thinking not only the timing was wrong on the Penny announcement, but also the letter I got in the mail wanting money from the university. Yeah, I mean, that's, the loss last night to Tulsa, we talk about all the other stuff. As Jeff Crane, right now, they're basically asking these season ticket holders to just donate that money for nothing. Yes, you cannot get tickets to come watch. You can't come watch games. Will you please just let us keep that money? Not towards next year's tickets. Just let us keep that money, and then next year you'll still buy tickets. Like, that's what they're asking to do. That's hard to do that when you're losing to Tulsa at home. Like, that's hard to convince those people that this is the right investment. That, again, these are all things, and they're trying everything they can over there for money to get money, and it makes it difficult. They would love for this team to be winning all of these games. Makes it a lot easier to go ask these people for money. Penny was depending on getting Jalen Green, built the team around him. If your whole thing is relying on getting a one recruit, well, that's poor planning. You can't be relying on getting one recruit that you didn't. There was always the chance you weren't going to get him.
Why is it always about who they don't have?
Yeah, well,
that's another discussion. It's always an excuse about who they don't have instead of trying to coach who he does have.
Jalen Green was very close to R.J. Hampton. You saw what happened with R.J. Hampton. So there was always a chance that you weren't going to get Jalen Green, that he was going to take the pro route as well. So now, granted, you didn't know the G League thing was going to come the way it did. Yeah. But if you can't use the excuse, well, we thought we were getting Jalen Green. Well, that's you just can't plan that way.
Wasn't it sort of assumed that Jalen Green, regardless of if the G League thing popped up, he was going to try to play pro somewhere? Wasn't that always sort of the thought?
Once R.J. Hampton did it, again, because he was really close with R.J. Hampton, it was always going to be a possibility. So, yeah. Somebody says, I don't like to point out a player, but what are we doing with DJ? The offense itself is empty. Yeah, DJ Jeffries has sometimes he looks really good when he's knocking down shots. When he's not, he could become non-existent. Because I don't think DJ Jeffries, again, I just wonder about his motor. He's so physically gifted, but does he just have that kind of killer instinct? Like, I'd love to see DJ Jeffries. Last night, the Jaden Hardaway dunk early in the game. Dude just elevates like a defender there, and he's like, I don't care. That's Jaden Hardaway. Why? I'd like to see that one time from DJ Jeffries. Just go to the rim and say, you know what? I don't care who's in my way. I'm dunking on whoever it is. He shies away from contact. He can't finish through contact. I don't know what DJ Jeffries is as a player yet.
With him, it's hot and cold, and it never really seems to end well for him. It's like if he starts hot, he plays too confident and he turns the ball over. If he doesn't hit a shot, he'll be non-existent the whole game and he won't have confidence the entire game. It's one of those things where it's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
He vanishes for long periods of time. He did. I see. Like, when I watched him in high school, I saw that. Like, I was like, I remember the first game I ever went and watched DJ Jeffries play. At halftime, I had to ask somebody, which one is DJ Jeffries? I think he had scored 2 points in the game. I'm like, I thought this guy would, because everything I'd heard about him, I thought I was going to go out there and it would be obvious. Most of the superstar high school players, you go watch them play, if there's only like one on the floor, you know who he is. I literally at halftime, I was like, okay, which one is Jeffries? I haven't seen anybody that stands out here as like this highly ranked player. And he has the ability to disappear for long stretches. Somebody says can't win if you can't hit free throws, under 50% again. Yeah, again, in close games, that's going to kill you. Absolutely going to kill you. Let's see. Somebody says, I said it for years. Penny was a great player, but Penny cannot coach. He couldn't coach the guys at East High School. He stands on the sideline with the hands in his pocket. He doesn't know how to coach talent. I still think he can coach. He does not have that very demonstrative sideline demeanor, everything else, or he's going crazy over there. But that's fine. You don't have to have that. I've seen him at the high school level, like, get into players, like, hard yelling at them. I think he knows basketball. Can he teach basketball? And can he figure out how to put the players he has in the best position to succeed? That is the one we still have to find out. And it's still to be answered here in year number 3. All right. When we come back, some notes from the world of college football and one final thing to wrap it up as you're listening to Sports 56 Middays on Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Grab a seat for a happy hour with John Harden
Passengers will please fasten their seatbelts.
on Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
All 36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte, ME 299.10, MSRP 20,625, Soul M7755 682, MSRP 20,315, K5MG 003,199, MSRP 25,725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details. Offer valid through 12/31/20. Dealer stock only.
Are you ready to be happy this holiday season? Well, we got you covered at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. So come be happy with Kia's holiday sales event. Command the season. 2020 Kia Forte, $142 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5, $192 a month lease. All just 36 months, $31.49 due at signing. Stay happy all season long with Forte, $142, Soul, $148, Kia K5, $192. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a 3-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Basketball is back, and you know what that means. It's time for me to fire up the FanDuel Sportsbook app. From the opening tip to the final buzzer, there are so many ways to bet on FanDuel. What I love is the fast withdrawals. When you win, FD pays your winnings in as little as 24 hours, plus the great odds boosts and specials. Now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. If you sign up today, FanDuel Sportsbook will let you place your first bet risk-free. That's right, they'll give you up to $1,000 back if you don't win. And when you do win, FanDuel pays your winnings in as little as 24 hours. You don't have to track down some shady bookie for your money. Just do me a favor. When you download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up with promo code GASMAN so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires 14 days after receipt. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789.
At Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and they are offering the Golden Opportunity December to Remember sales event.
Thanks, Stats. December to Remember is our biggest sales event of the year. We've got great deals on leases, special financing, 0% interest on 2020s and 2021s. Come see us at Lexus of Memphis.
Thank you, Brian, and happy holidays to all and Merry Christmas, and we look so forward to 2021 and this year to forget 2020, but we look forward to 2021 at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com.
It's on Mid-South employee pricing for all during the Big Finish 2020. So get ready to save big with 2021 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. IIHS top safety pick $22,990 or $296 a month. Or power up with 2020 Dodge Charger $24,890 or $299 a month. And we're talking Ram Tough in a 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x2 $31,999 or $399 a month. It's time to get your ride on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat. 1901 Covington Pike or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost finance through Chrysler Jeep Ram, 3,500 cash down, Charger 4,500 cash down, 4.11 APR, Cherokee MD 15674, MSRP 28,050, Charger XST LH 248,348, MSRP 32,860, Ram LG 290,329, MSRP 37,855, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 12/31/20. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I will get
So from college football, of course, yesterday we got the news, Tennessee not coming to the Autos of Liberty Bowl. They've been replaced by Army. So luckily for the folks over there, Harold Grader, Steve Earhart, of course, Harold will be with us on Thursday, but there wasn't an available team. Now you're saying, tell me, Gabe, that South Carolina is the latest team?
They are. They will no longer be playing not BYU, UAB. I believe it's the Gasparilla Bowl scheduled for Saturday.
So I just can't imagine they could get a replacement.
Yeah, I don't know who they could go get. Army was sort of the last team that wanted to play a bowl game that wasn't in one. So I really can't think of anybody else they can go get. I would imagine if we get to tomorrow or the next day and there's no opponent, then they're just going to go ahead and cancel it.
So that's two SEC teams now that have had to withdraw from their bowl games in both Tennessee and South Carolina. Also from the SEC, Florida was given some penalties for recruiting violations, including a 1-year show cause for Dan Mullen, which will mean very little. All the other stuff is restrictions on recruiting and some stuff like that, probation, all that stuff. Nothing major here for Florida. I guess the most major thing is a 1-year show cause, but when the guy is already your head coach and he gets a show cause, it means he can't do some recruiting stuff. He's banned from all off-campus recruiting during the 2020 evaluation period, and a 4-day off-campus recruiting ban during the 2021 contact period. But otherwise, I'm not sure these are. It seems like pretty much a slap on the wrist.
So, and also the Gasparilla Bowl, UAB actually won Conference USA, beating Marshall in the championship. They're probably not going to get any postseason, even though they won their conference this year. That's terrible.
Yeah, their postseason became the conference championship game. Also, Neil McCready out of Oxford Rebel Grove, he's reporting that Lane Kiffin fired their defensive line coach yesterday. Deke Adams was dismissed from the staff yesterday. I would imagine there might be some other changes on the defensive staff at Ole Miss. I mean, the offense was good. The defense was terrible. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe I don't think DJ Durkin's going anywhere, but I could see maybe some other position coaches let go. And then at Tennessee, JT Shrout has apparently entered the transfer portal. So now Garantano and Shrout both leaving. So it looks like Harrison Bailey and the incoming freshman, all that's left as far as that quarterback position goes at Tennessee for next season. Time for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
By the way, Deke Adams, I believe, was with Memphis last year.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
I thought that name
sounded familiar. He was one
remember.
year as the D-line coach under Mike Norvell.
By the way, here's this thing on South Carolina. It says, I'm told, this is a reporter from down there, I'm told COVID tracing was a concern, but following a players-only meeting today and a meeting with Ray Tanner, some players did not want to play for interim head coach Mike Bobo.
Yeah, that happened at Colorado State, too.
That's not good for Mike Bobo. That doesn't go over well. So, in the NBA, again, the season gets underway tonight, and we've had the James Harden saga. What would happen with James Harden? He wants out of Houston, apparently, but they don't have any motivation to just take pennies on the dollar for him, so they have held on to him. Well, there's a report now from Shams that James Harden has had multiple verbal confrontations with teammates in practice. And yesterday, he and Jayshawn Tate had a heated exchange, which ended with Harden throwing a ball in Tate's direction. It did not hit Tate, but is this James Harden's latest efforts to get out of Houston? Well, hell, if you guys aren't going to trade me, I'll just start fighting with all my teammates. And eventually you have to get rid of him.
He is becoming a cancer. Like, he really is. I mean, I didn't know this about him until this year, but damn, he can't get right.
He threw a ball in Tate's direction. It did not hit him. Is he just a bad shot, or was it just trying to send a message? I'm going to do this. I'm not trying to hit you. Was this like a hold me back moment? Like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to act like I'm really mad at you. Now throw a ball in your direction. I guess, hey, listen, if you want to get out, one way to do it is to start being a real pain in the rear end. I guess they could suspend you, start fining you, things like that for being detrimental to the team. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who knows where that ends? I still think he starts the year, like actually plays games with them. But I do think he will be traded at some point this season. That will do it for today's program. Thanks to Connor O'Gara and Jeff Crane joining me on the program today. Tomorrow we'll have Jerry Palm, Sigmund Bloom as normal, Matt Moore from the Action Network. Always fun to have him on HP Basketball. We'll talk NBA with him as the Grizzlies open their season tomorrow night. We'll have a Tiger football report previewing the Montgomery Bowl between the Tigers and Florida Atlantic as well on tomorrow's program. Thanks to Gabe for a great job as always today. Coming up next, it is Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio, the supersized edition. He'll go all the way till 3:30 when we've got Ole Miss basketball against UT Martin. We'll be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Gabe Ami Live. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Going to pot. Well, now it's all going to pot.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know.